in casual fans. But the one thing we do know about AAA is that it's a very fun show. It's a show that it doesn't really matter what the card is. It's still going to entertain. But we do have the Creed brothers. They're actually going to be in action. And we got Mr. Iguana. He's going to be in action as well. So we can just quickly jump over to the cards. Here you can see announced for tonight, Aerostar and Fiscal taking on the Creed brothers. NGD versus Tokyo Bad Boys versus Mr. Iguana and Parka versus Money Machine. So that looks to be like a fatal four-way tag match, which, I mean, I'm guessing that's just going to be absolutely bonkers, right? Then it looks like we've got a handicap match with Galeno versus Chris Carter and Drago. There's a lot of names here I'm not familiar with, a lot of people here I'm not familiar with. But as we said, AAA, normally a fun evening, and we are building towards that big AAA show that is coming up in just a couple of weeks' time. Not next week, but the week after, we will have Mask versus Mask, El Grande versus El Grande. We will be doing that show, so looking forward to that. But yeah, I wish there was something a little bit juicier here for the kind of casual AAA fans. I'm not sure the Creed brothers going to be bringing in loads of eyes, but I've no doubt this is still going to be a very fun show. So there we go. That's AAA, but we can talk about whatever people want to talk about, because we can talk anything WWE or anything that you want to talk about. So let's go. Bones said, love the picture you posted. How was the meet and greet? Yeah, Casey, hello. Bones, hope you had a good time. Going to some meet and greets. Shout out to you. Carr said, today is a massive card for AAA because fatal four-way tag team, Creed brothers, and a handicap match. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a big show for those that watch on a regular basis. I think for people that are more like casual fans, it's probably not, mind-blowing. I like to be honest with what I'm seeing. I think this looks fine. There's lots of names here that I am familiar with, and quite a few that I'm not. So we're going to find out together. Rocco said, Daze, I find your approach to MMA a bit baffling. It did big numbers on the channel. MMA is big for casuals. That is bigger than a taped irrelevant AAA show, but you do you, said Rocco. Yeah, Rocco, I can explain. Because there has been a big change in this world, and it's not really anything to do with us. So go back a few years, and wrestling was on a Sunday, UFC was on a Saturday, and so that meant that we could do it week after week after week uninterrupted. Like, we could cover UFC, and I love UFC. I've been kind of watching UFC since the 2000s. We were streaming it since we started streaming in 2018, right? So it just worked on the channel really well. The Saturday we could do UFC, the Sunday we could do wrestling. But then wrestling moved to a Saturday, and so it all started to clash and it all started to collide, and that was obviously frustrating, and it meant that we could only do certain shows. And then as well, recently they've actually increased the amount of wrestling shows. So obviously now we've got AAA, and we've got 2-night events as well that they're doing, extra things like Saturday night's main event. So, I mean, it's just the way that things have moved. It's all just kind of gone to pot, really. So I just have to make the decision of what are we going to do. So I prioritize the wrestling because we are a wrestling channel. If I can get to UFC, I'll get to it. My plan for this week was to do MMA. It's not UFC, obviously it's Ronda Rousey. I've had no one asking about it. I've had very little interest in it. I don't know if it's because it's being promoted by MVP. I don't know if it's because the fights are not the most exciting fights. You know, Ronda Rousey is a big name, but this match, I don't know that it's really grabbed attention. I mean, it could end up doing big numbers, but all I know is that there just wasn't much buzz around and there wasn't many people asking me for it. And as a result, it just felt like, I don't know. If this was a UFC numbered show, then I would be interested. But it's hard. It's just hard to get to MMA because of everything colliding. So that's why we've ended up where we've ended up. Flamefist said it was amazing. It was UFC that brought me here, but I do understand the streams take a lot of time. WWE have a lot more shows. Yeah, and they moved, as I said. I mean, that's the other thing. It's not like we've got lazy or anything. It's not like we don't stream as much. It's just that everything collides now. So wrestling is the priority, of course. And I looked at this week, and I'd say this was, one of the first weeks, actually, where we could have done an MMA show, but it's not UFC. It's a standalone thing on Netflix that no one has been asking me for. So I didn't really have loads of confidence that that was the right way to go, especially considering in 2 weeks' time, we've got this big AAA show. So in 2 weeks, we've got this big mask versus mask show. I don't know what the rest of the card for that looks like. There could be some people tonight that actually feature on that show in 2 weeks' time. So I'm kind of looking at what's coming up going, in a way, tonight connects to what we're doing in 2 weeks. So, yeah. Do I want to do an MMA show that no one's been asking for? Or do I do this show tonight where we can talk about wrestling? It may connect to the big show in 2 weeks' time, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's the reason for that. I don't usually watch these fights. It could be worth watching, said David. Yeah, I mean, AAA is normally a really fun show. It's normally a really fun show. Every time we've watched it, we've always got something from it. So I think that helps as well. The fact that you sort of can go into this knowing that it's not going to be like a waste of time. Like tonight's AAA show should be pretty fun because all the other ones have been pretty fun as well. So Flamefist said, I think we get more weekly streams now than when I joined. The Ronda fight did come out of nowhere. Well, listen, the Ronda fight's going to get views. I've got no doubt about that. It's just, I don't know. I don't know where we are with an MMA community anymore because, let's be honest, I would totally have expected all those people to have just moved on. Like, we had a great community for MMA, we had a great community for UFC, but because of the inconsistency, which is not through choice, but because of the inconsistency, I would not be expecting that many people to be kind of holding their breath for us to be covering MMA. For those that still want to see us do that, I really appreciate it. I've always enjoyed doing it. My passion for UFC and MMA has not diminished. It's certainly not anything along those lines. I just don't know why TKO just can't sort this out. I don't know. There must be something in the data that says to them that, like, Saturday night is the big night, Sunday night, the views aren't as good, and that there's just not much crossover between WWE and UFC. So they must think that it just doesn't really matter if we run both shows, WWE and UFC, on a Saturday night. They must just be thinking that. And obviously, we are that crossover. We are that community that kind of enjoy both. So it is frustrating, but, well, you can only do what you can do. I can't wait for AAA tonight, said Mr. Disney Guy. I'm starting to think that Jericho isn't going to come back before he retires, says Kai Plays. They already had chances and never took it. Yeah, I don't know what's happened with his contract. I mean, I don't know if he's re-signed an extension or what the situation is, but we know his contract was frozen whilst, he was kind of due off with Fozzy in February, and I think having maybe some injuries that he was recovering from. So we know that he was kind of, his contract was frozen. We heard about that. So I don't know if he's just seeing out the end of his contract or if it's a case that he's signed a new deal and, he's going to be sticking around. I think it's the second. I think it is that he's kind of re-signed and he's staying with AEW. So, yeah, when we go into shows, there's no kind of rumors around him. There's no one like, oh, is he going to be in Italy? Is he going to be showing up at SummerSlam? There's just none of that sort of chatter or vibe. So I think most people have accepted that he is with AEW for the foreseeable. Isaac, thank you, my friend. Appreciate the support. Jacob said, I heard they're gutting WWE to cover UFC profit losses. I can't comment. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the two are connected. I know that I heard that there's chatter that they're doing it because they're still paying off the amount that it costs to buy WWE. So they didn't just have the money. They had to go and like borrow money. And so they're still paying that money back. And they're obviously paying the interest. And then, you know, I heard that there was some of the cuts were to reduce the budget so that they could start, you know, really making some progress with paying off their debt. Again, the business world is like that. I know the Glazers that bought Man United, they didn't have the money. They had to borrow money. That meant that, you know, Man United are kind of in debt right now, and they're having to pay off this debt. It is a way that kind of the business world tends to work. I don't know that there's any truth in that. I mean, one thing we can agree is WWE is not struggling for wrestlers. There's plenty of wrestlers around. And there's plenty of wrestlers that have just been called up from NXT. And I don't know, if we had an extra 20-odd wrestlers, would they be even getting TV time? Or would it just be 20 wrestlers sat in catering? So, I don't know. I don't really worry too much about it because we've always done releases. And I think it makes sense if you're going to bring people up from NXT. You can't just keep adding and adding and adding. Like, you are going to have to lose people. Whether the cuts needed to be as big as they were, or, you know, whether we needed to be asking people to take pay cuts, I don't know. That's the kind of stuff where you go, did it need to be as drastic as it was? But either way, you know, I don't think we're struggling for wrestlers. We've got plenty of talent. And we've done it every year as well. It was just a big one this year because apparently last year they tried to be a little bit careful with it. They didn't want people kind of seeing them as the bad guys. That was crazy. That was a quote from, I think it was Dave Meltzer. TKO didn't want to be seen as the bad guys last year, so they didn't cut as many. So it meant this year they had to cut more. So, I don't know. There's lots of theories, speculation, chatter around that whole thing, but it's nice to be putting a bit of distance between us and that, because that was a rough weekend, wasn't it, when all of that dropped? I would say the hatred, the anger towards TKO was at its absolute zenith. There was lots of memes and stuff. TKO, their reputation, man, it's in the gutter. I don't know how much they care, but I can tell you from a wrestling point of view, there's not much love for TKO, and I think the same is true on the MMA side as well. Kian said, I've not been watching lately as my team, Liverpool, have been bad and good. It's been very up and down. It's been very frustrating. Hello, Rob. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Huddle Talk. Shout out to you. Flame Fist said, Daze, this year was made up with superstars that were meant to be cut since 2025. Yeah, there was that chatter, wasn't there, about like being the not seen as the bad guys last year, and so having to catch up, if you will. Have you ever heard of Ella Langley? She's one of my new music finds, a good country singer. Is she the girl that's like dominating the Billboard charts right now? Because I think there's a country singer, and I don't know her name. It could be her. That's like number one in the Billboard charts. She's got another couple of singles in the top 10 as well. Yeah, I don't know much. If it is her, I'm going to have a look. I don't know much about her. She is on my radar, as in I'm aware of her, but yeah. So she's number one. I looked at this the other day. So she's number one, and she's number two. I thought, was there another one in there? Yeah, number 8. As well. Have you heard that tune as well? The Tame Impala one. That's really like low-key becoming a bit of a song of the summer. I saw Fatal Influence doing a TikTok with it as the background. And it's I don't know if it's a remix. It's the one that talks about Pablo Escobar. That one. Pablo Escobar. I like it. I like that track. It's good. So, loving this. Need to check out her. Choosing Texas is number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. She's number 2 as well. Olivia Dean's pretty cool. Don't mind her. Love Pink Pantheress. That is my queen. Yeah, Pink Pantheress. Stateside. She's got a new song out as well. Can't remember what that one's called, but it's pretty good as well. And I loved her illegal one that was absolutely everywhere, like last year. So I'm a big Pink Pantheress head. I'm a Pink Pantheress stan. Why the hell is Michael Jackson Human Nature at number 29? Look, 31 as well, Andy. Your queen's doing well. Your queen. What the hell's going on? Has he come back to life or something? Don't stop till. I mean, I'm not hating on it. This is weird, isn't it? Where, like, I don't know, is this a new album? And he's like, the way it works now is so strange. It was so much better back in the day. People would release songs, singles, and they would be available and purchased, and then they would be on the charts. Now people drop albums, and like several tracks from the album feature on the chart, and like it's just messed it all up, really. Don't like it. Don't like this. Don't like this artists having several songs in the charts at the same time. It doesn't feel right. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day, you'd release a single, people would buy that single, then it would, you know, start to fall out of favor. The new singles would come out. They would get. That's how it used to work. That was when it was better. Just like with wrestling being better, music was better as well. Hey, did anyone watch Eurovision? I watched Eurovision. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like, it got down to Israel. Israel were number 1, about to win the competition. There was only one country that could stop them, and that was Bulgaria. And it was like we had to find out. And like there was boos for Israel. And we're not getting political. Not getting political. But I mean, you can't really talk about it without saying that it divided opinion. Israel being allowed to be in the Eurovision, right? That divided opinion. And they were allowed and they were winning. And then it came down to just one country, Bulgaria. Could Bulgaria stop them? And it was quite dramatic. And it's quite dramatic. All night they've been talking about love and unity and harmony and peace and equality. And then right at the end of the show, you got the whole audience booing Israel. The optics weren't great, right? For a show that's all about love, unity, and peace and harmony, right? And again, we're not getting political. But yeah, it did make me laugh. I was sat there like... loving it, just like, oh, give me the drama, man, give me the drama. So and the UK, we did ourselves proud. We came absolutely rock bottom last. We got 1 point, and that was it. And we only got that point from Ukraine, and I swear to God it was them just saying, hey, thanks for all the help. I swear that's all it was, because no one else gave us a point. No one else gave us anything. The act that won got over 500 points. We got 1 point. Our song was called Ein, Zwei, Drei. Right, I don't know why. It was called Ein, Zwei, Drei. It had more German in it than the German entry did. There was more German being sung in our entry than in the German entry. You gotta love Eurovision. You gotta love it. It is bonkers, mate. Absolutely bonkers. Russell Andy said MJ remains the GOAT. Did the UK come last again? They did. They did. Do you know, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we take it as serious. We certainly don't take it as serious as other countries, right? There is a conspiracy theory that we always enter like songs that are just okay because we don't want to enter anything too good because we don't want to win it because we don't have to pay for it and host it all the time, right? I think that's probably us just trying to cope with the facts. We haven't won it since 1997, right? So I think that's probably us just trying to go, no, we don't want to win it. But like, I don't know, we just don't seem to be able to put on a really great song. You listen to some of the songs and they've got big choruses and great staging, and you go, oh, that's a belter. And it's like, we've got the ability to do that. We've got great singers, great songs. But we just don't seem to ever find a way of doing it. We did finish second in 2022 to Ukraine. So, maybe if the whole Ukraine war hadn't have happened, we could have won it in 2022. So that would have been nice. But whatever. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? I don't know why America don't do it. I don't know why. I think I might have heard a rumor you did try or was thinking of trying, where every state enters a song and then you do like a big kind of evening on a Saturday where all the songs get played and then you find a winner, You'd probably have to do semi-finals. You couldn't really have 50-odd songs in the final. So you might have to do semi-finals and all of that. But it's just innocent fun, really, to be honest. Unless, politics finds a way of sneaking in. So, yeah, it was all right. Eurovision is music. I thought it was movies and TV shows. No, Eurovision Song Contest is where every country enters a song, and then there is semi-finals, and then you have like the best 25 on the Saturday night. They play them all. It's like 130 million watch it. It's a big deal. It's kind of like your Super Bowl. 130 million across Europe tune in and watch Eurovision. Australia are in it, and they had a good song this year. Really good. I think they finished about 4th. They were a good song from Australia. But yeah, wasn't to be. Daze talking about Mongolian throat singing. Oh, I wish there was some Mongolian throat singing. David said, I used to watch Eurovision just for the results to see where we would come. I just couldn't be bothered after sitting through the live stuff. No talent on ITV1, said David. Yeah, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. I don't. Normally, a lot of the songs are rubbish, but there's normally a couple in there. You go, oh yeah, that's all right. Actually, I don't mind that. And I mean, you'll see the wackier ones get kind of shown off, on comedy shows and whatever. Like a lot of those kind of songs are meant to be wacky, obviously to grab attention. That's why they do it, because they want to be remembered. They want to stick in your mind. So, I mean, you do get, like, some really good normal songs, and then you get just, like, really crazy, outlandish ones. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't mind it. It's all right. I'm not, like, a big viewer that can't wait or anything, but if it's on, I'd watch it. It's funny. 1 point song and then a conspiracy theories. Yes, said Chris. People are thinking that we're rubbish on purpose because we don't want to host it. We don't want to pay the money that you have to pay to host it. But I don't know. I don't think that's true personally. I just think we're rubbish. Mackenzie said UK could use Joe Hendry. That would be brilliant for Joe Hendry, actually. If Joe Hendry decided he wanted to represent the United Kingdom and enter a song, like, that would be great. I think he might have spoke about it, He might have spoke about going for it because, I mean, it gets 100-odd million views. It's a brilliant way of boosting your profile. So, yeah, he should give that some thought, actually. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? That would be crazy if he did. Apparently he's releasing an album, isn't he? That's coming out in the summer. Daze, do you think Ronda Rousey will beat Carano tonight? I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to gauge, isn't it? Because when was the last time we saw Ronda Rousey fight? And same with Gina as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll be very interested to see what sort of numbers this event does. I think there's names on the card like Ronda and Garnu and, Diaz and whatnot. There's definitely names that people will be interested in. Maybe it's a really good weekend, like a little bit quieter. There's not like, they're not competing against the World Cup, which obviously starts fairly soon. So they might have got the timing right and all of that. I'll be interested to see what the numbers do. But in my bubble, in my worlds, there's been very little chat about it. I think I've just had the odd person just asking, are you doing it? So yeah, that's why I didn't have loads of confidence that was like, oh, that's the stream to do, you know. Plus, you got to remember, there's going to be so many MMA channels. I mean, that's something we've seen explode since the pandemic. All these dedicated MMA channels, which, you know, God bless them, fair play to them, got no issue with any of them or anything, but that whole thing has just exploded. In fact, everywhere since the pandemic, you know, on the wrestling sides, on the MMA sides, you know, you've just got people joining all the time. So, you know, I think like all of those are going to be covering it as well. So, yeah. That's why I just didn't have the confidence, but hey ho, here we are. Imagine Daze, we could hire Wrestling Daze to fire Logan Paul, says Carl. Mackenzie said Liv could win with trouble. When you say win, Mackenzie, wait, when you say win, what do you mean by win? Do you mean win our hearts? Win our sympathy? Yes, let's just say yes. Kian said, I decided to get the shorts of Troy Bolton to go with my Wildcats Troy Bolton basketball jersey. Wow. Kian is going to be sat there right now. Mentally, I've got a picture of you sat there in your basketball outfit, looking exactly like the great Troy Bolton. Yeah. And I think we can all picture that. Kian said, oh my God, not Liv song. That is so cringe. She has threatened, and I'm going to use the word threatened, to perform that at SummerSlam. She has actually threatened to perform it again live. So just be aware of that. Just be aware. The Cavs lost tonight, Game 7, said Edward. I don't know where we are with the NBA. If I have to choose a team, I'm a Raptors fan. And the reason for that was because when I was young, I went to Toronto with the school. So there was like this really... the good thing about school holidays is schools get great discounts when they go anywhere because they're a school and it's educational. So, you know, going to Toronto was never going to be an option for me when I was young. But actually, the school made it a more affordable option. And so I was very fortunate enough to go. This was when I was at secondary school. And we went to Toronto and had, you know, spent a few days there, and it was great. Had a great time. There is an amazing picture of me, which I really need to find. I don't know what that tower is called now. I think it used to be called the CN Tower or something. There is a picture of me from the 90s at the top of that tower with the glass floor at the top. And I've got like my head on the glass floor. It's one of those glass floors that you can stand on and look down. And I was so scared that I couldn't even bring myself to lie on the floor and just put my head on the glass. So there is this amazing picture of me with just the tiniest bit of my head on the glass floor, just looking like I'm being held hostage, just looking so scared. So yeah, I went there, and obviously, you know, next to that is the, I don't know what it's called, the whatever arena where the Raptors play. And so kind of got into them because their merch was everywhere. And I was the right age as well, where their logo was a raptor. And obviously, you know, Jurassic Park and all of that, dinosaurs were quite big in the 90s with certainly Jurassic Park. I heard that might have been why they chose it, actually. It was because dinosaurs were on trend and Jurassic Park was a big thing. And that might be why the Toronto Raptors are the Toronto Raptors. But it worked. I was like, okay, cool. This can be my team. So I've sort of followed them since the 90s. Not closely. Just like if ever it gets to that time of the year where it's playoffs, I'll keep an eye. I saw they got to the playoffs this year and did well, actually, against the Cavs. Took it to Game 7, didn't they? It was 3-3, took it to Game 7. So, you know, I keep a little eye on it. I mean, I can't name players. I can name players from the past, like Vince Carter, Damon Stoudemire, and people like that. Bosch, was it? But yeah, I'm a fake fan. I'm a fake fan. It's a glance. I give it a glance. So, I was watching some old NXT stuff this morning, said Shining Wizards. Waller challenged AJ Styles. Waller was getting inferno heat. Poor guy. Look at him now. Yeah, it is true, actually. Grayson Waller, at one point, had it worked out. He really had it worked out. You know, he was a great heel. Fantastic on the mic. Good size to him as well. Felt like there was definitely things that needed to evolve. Felt like things needed to develop. But yeah, it just felt like he was going to be a brilliant antagonist. Felt like he was going to be someone that could really go in there and cause some problems on the main roster. And I don't know, man. They called him up. They tried a few Grayson Waller segments, like those talk show things, and they ended up putting him in with Theory and did absolutely nothing with them. And now, I mean, they just don't know what to do with him, do they? They just don't know what to do with him. They tried putting him in New Day. I mean, what was the plan? You tell me, what was the plan? What was it all going to lead to? Perhaps there was a plan and it all changed, but what an absolute waste of time. What an absolute waste of time. So, I don't know. We got to do something with him. I mean, what I'd say is he didn't get released. That's good. You know, he could have got released. He easily could have got released, but he didn't. So that would, if I'm Grayson Waller, that says to me they see something, you know? There's still some belief there in Grayson Waller. So, you know, put that work in. Just needs that opportunity, doesn't he? Needs to get a feud, needs to get TV time, needs to get momentum. Just anything. Even if it's in AAA, even if it's in NXT, just get TV time, connect with the audience, create a buzz. But you can't do that when you're sat in catering. Unless you start using social media and start to create, connect with people that way. I mean, you could get people to send in their profile pictures or send in their hot takes and, roast them. Do you know what I mean? And that could create a fun little couple of minutes, which then, you know what I mean? Once a week, we've got, Grayson Waller roasting fans that want to be roasted, that have sent in things to be roasted. Something like that. It's better than nothing, isn't it? It's better than nothing. And if it is funny and, it kind of gets a bit of traction, well, again, it's better than nothing. David said, I was watching NXT 23rd March 2010 earlier. Only 2 matches, loads of shiz promos, hyping up WrestleMania 26. By the time the second match and the entrance started, I'd forgot I was watching NXT. That must have been the olds. That was OG, wasn't it? I mean, it started in 2010, and March is very early, so... Was that the season Daniel Bryan was on, that first season with Wade Barrett and everything? Because that was early, wasn't it? And out of that was born the Nexus. That was before it was its own brand. Shining Wizard said he didn't get released because he's a good hand as being enhancement. He does a lot of work behind the scenes with the new guys, said Shining Wizards. Kian said, I hardly watched SmackDown last night because of the ads. They're 3 minutes long. I was just watching old series. Chris said he should go to AAA. Yeah, he should go to AAA. Just anything that can get some momentum going. Jacob, shout out to you. William said, Daze has served me multiple restraining orders. The problem for Daze, though, is that I've got to stay 500 meters away. So I know wherever Daze is, because it shows me if he's within 500 meters. It is true. It is true. I would recommend many in the community doing the same, to be honest. Dean said, is there any other wrestlers that we would like to see get pushed more in WWE? Well, to be honest, I mean, I just want to see all of them get their opportunity. So Johnny is one that comes to mind, and Candice is one that comes to mind, because I do worry that they are drifting towards an exit, right? Be it their contracts are going to just conclude, or it's going to be a case that they get released. because you don't know when releases are going to hit. I mean, that could be it for this year, or we could do some at the end of the year, right? We've done some in February before. So, I mean, it's not that people are safe until the next WrestleMania. We could be seeing some more in the future. There is rumors of more call-ups in the summer, so from NXT. So, I'm a Johnny fan. I really like Johnny, and I really like Candice. I think they're a very likable pairing. I think both of them are very, very likable. So, I like Candice. I think that it would be good for her to kind of get involved in some sort of story that's not just her husband is comatose, you know? I don't know. I don't know where that's going to lead or where that's going to kind of take us. It might have been fun to do, like, Alexa and Candice as, like, Poison Pixie tag team. That could have been quite fun. I do understand, though, that it makes sense to have a small girl with a bigger girl, you know, so if you've got someone like a Candice, you might not want to put her with another small female because Candice is not the biggest. But I don't know, there's maybe a bit of fun to be had there. A bit of fun to be had. So, yeah, I'd like to see Candice. I'd like to see Johnny. I'm a big fan of Fraxium. I can't believe we're not doing more with Fraxium. I think that's a real disgrace. Obviously, there's been a lot of frustration around Elia and how we've not been seeing more of him recently. I don't know about Ivy Nile. I don't know. I don't think we'd quite cracked it with her before she came up. So, I don't know. Now she just seems very lost. Very lost. Creed Brothers, I think, will be okay. It'll be good to see them tonight. So I think Creed Brothers be okay. Perhaps Ivy and the Creeds will really hit their stride when Chad Gable loses, because I'm sure is losing in that mask versus mask match. So perhaps that'll be a big boost to American Made when they kind of come out of, like, when he comes out of that. So yeah, there's people around off the top of my head that I'd like to see getting pushed. But it's just hard, isn't it? Because you've got to feature your big names. You've got to feature the newcomers like Sol Ruka and Fatal Influence and Trick and Oba. Like, you've got to be featuring all of those. You still got to find somewhere for The Miz. Kit Wilson's just trying to get whatever TV time he can get as well at the moment. And then all the time, you've got people in catering and backstage like Johnny Gargano, amazing talent. Fraxium, amazing talent. Creed Brothers, amazing talent. Viking Raiders, I mean, you know, we could be doing way more with them. Good to see that they've been doing some stuff in AAA, though. They've been doing some stuff with Psycho Circus, so it's good, isn't it, that we can, if you have got someone on the sidelines, go, hey, go to NXT. Hey, go to AAA. Maybe even, hey, pop to TNA. You know, there are other places in the company for this talent to kind of work. I think Dragon Lee's out with an injury at the moment, so I'm not too worried about him. Ray Phoenix, I don't know what the hell we're doing there. He just keeps popping up in, like, backstage segments, doesn't he? Grayson Waller is a big frustration. Got to do more with him. We've just been talking about him and how he was really fun when he was in NXT. So got to do more with Grayson Waller, so... Yeah, there's a lot. It's just hard. I'm not moaning about it, though, because the truth is you always need more wrestlers than TV time, because what if you get an injury? I mean, if you get an injury, you are then in a situation where you need a wrestler to step in. So you always need... So I'm not moaning, but I do think it's time for some of those that have been on the sidelines to kind of come back in and get a bit of a program going. To be a WWE simp, Triple H did try with Johnny and the audience were mid about it. Some even said Triple H shoved him down our throats, said Flame Fist. What, Johnny? I don't know. I mean, Johnny's been doing some stuff with DIY. I don't know. I mean, for me, Johnny is someone that could do those open challenges and would connect. So... I think that he had him with DIY for with Tommaso for a while. I didn't think that was a bad move, and I don't think that team were like really badly being received. I just think that tag wrestling in WWE is very stop-start. It's very hit and miss. It's not like the division is on fire, and it's not like when it's a tag match, the fans are like, oh, here we go, all excited. I kind of feel like WWE fans have been conditioned to sort of see tag wrestling as a little bit irrelevant because, I mean, we have singles guys just going into tag matches, and the tag belts, you know, they might be hot 1 month and then the next month we're not really bothered by them. So it's a hard division to be in because there's just a lack of consistency. It doesn't feel like the most important division. And so, yeah, I don't know. I was not a big fan. I'm never really a big fan of people going into that tag division. I just think that it's you're very much being put to the sidelines. I mean, it can be of benefit because look at Damian Priest. Damian Priest has gone into the tag division, and it is because we don't have anything better for him. But he's been put with R-Truth. He's got the tag belts. He's getting regular TV time. So, I mean, you can kind of go, yeah, okay, there's something there for him. Make it work as best you can, you know? Do the best you can with it. But to be honest, there's a lot of teams like Fraxium, like DIY, like Pretty Deadly, like Viking Raiders, like the Creeds, like the Street Profits have been for quite a while actually this year, that just go missing. Do you know what I mean? We just don't do anything with them. So I think what I would like to see is I'd like to see Johnny getting put into a story, putting on banger matches, put him in there with a Carmelo, put him in there with an Elia, put him in there with a Sammy. I promise you those matches will deliver. Johnny is called Johnny Wrestling for a reason because he's a great wrestler. And I just think you got to show the fans that and remind the fans of that. Sammy said something the other day or yesterday. He said, do you remember when wrestling was enough? And I think it is. I think good wrestling can be enough because if you look at someone like Cesaro, people loved his matches and what he did in the ring, and people always were asking, why don't they do more with Cesaro? We had that the other day, actually. People were like, why did they never do more with Cesaro? And the truth is, he didn't have much of a personality. He didn't have much in the way of promo skills. He was just a great wrestler. And if you look at the open challenges, like Sammy's open challenge, Elia's open challenge, Carmelo's open challenge, all of those worked. None of those did open challenges and the fans were bored. Pretty much those open challenges since Sammy brought it back have been a great success. If Johnny had done open challenges, I have no doubt it would have been a great success as well. And that people would have been really down for like, oh, okay, here we go. United States Open Challenge, Johnny defending about this will be good. You know it'll be good. It was good last week. It was good the week before. We've got a real group, actually, on SmackDown in the mid-cards of similar talent, I would say. All of them not big guys. All of them, you might say, would struggle to get to a world title. But they are all really good. So your Elias, your Carmelos, your Sami Zayns, your Johnny Garganos, that kind of group. You could put a Chad Gable into that group as well. Chad Gable fits into that group. There's like this group of wrestlers that are average looking, average sized height, not Roman Reigns. They're not Brock Lesnar. They're not The Undertaker. They're just average. But they're really good wrestlers. Really good. And you can do any kind of combination with them and the match will bang. I'd like to see him. I think I'd like to see something around that. I think I'd like to see a mid-card division where it's a bit more chaotic with those kinds of names getting involved. So, yeah, I like Johnny. I'm a fan of Johnny. I don't know if the ship has passed him by. I mean, it is true that time waits for no one. And it is true that he's been in the WWE system a long, long time. I think he's been in like 10 years. He spent a long time in developmental. So, I mean, it is true that injuries catch you up. And it can be a situation where you're just not the performer that you used to be. I'm not ready to say that, though, because I've just not consistently seen enough singles matches. I ain't judging him on tag matches. So I haven't seen enough consistent singles matches where his in-ring is lacking or anything, you know. I got a few worries about Sammy, actually, now. I mean, his feud with Carrion was not great over the summer last year. His feud now with Tricker's not been very good. He did do really good open challenges, though, when he had that United States belt towards... So, you know, I think we're still okay. But there has been a few misses from Sammy, which the reason why I'm a Sammy fan is because he's always been so good in ring. But you can point to that Trick feud and go, nah, no, that was not what we were looking for. And you can point to the Carrion feud last year and say the exact same thing. He doesn't always mesh with certain people. I wonder if it's a style that he doesn't mesh with. Trick and Carrion are both quite tall. Neither, I wouldn't say that, I think both are... I wouldn't really say either of them are necessarily like the most technical of wrestlers. Not like they're doing loads of intricate moves. I'd say Carrion's probably ahead of Trick. I wonder if it's like a certain style of wrestler that Sammy struggles against, or if it's like a size thing, or perhaps it's just, you know, a couple of bad days. But yeah. Anyway, I'd like to see something there, because consistently, every time we've done open challenges on SmackDown, they've been amongst the best things on the show. They've been the highest scoring matches. And so that says to me that there is definitely something within that group that we could really exploit and we could do something really great with. Maybe a tournament, you know what I mean? Or something. To see if we can just get some really banging matches going. That would be good. I think we all just want to watch some great matches. And that group, you can do different combinations and generate exactly that. Hogan Curtis said, there's no reason to worry about Sammy. Even this current thing is just a prime example of Sammy taking the nonsensical fan reactions and trying to make it make sense. He's great in ring, he's a good promo, and he can do comedy. Yep, I am a Sammy fan. I agree with all of that. I think I'm only questioning, like, you know, time. It does catch up with people. And, you know, Sammy is going to run out of time. I'm not saying that has come now, but, I mean, he's not getting younger. I don't think he's getting better. So that would be my concern for him, would be that really the big thing he's got is his in-ring. I'd say that it's not his presentation, it's not his look. I think his promo skills are pretty good, and I don't see them fading, right? So he should have those, but he has got that ability to put on a great match, a really great match. And yeah, that's not going to be around forever. So I don't know. I don't know what you do with him. I think I'm at the point where I would turn him heel. I'd have him snap and get frustrated and turn. I think I would do that because the people are booing him. There's no sign of them changing their tune. And actually, Sammy kind of riding that wave. And the good thing for Sammy is he's getting a reaction. It's a big reaction. That's good. Because if you're not going to get loud cheers, then get loud boos. You don't want to be in the middle. You don't want like no reaction. That's the absolute worst. So if you're not getting loud cheers, then get loud boos. And you can work with that. If the fans don't like you, lean into it. And actually, we've seen so many times that if you're a heel and you're really good at it, people go, oh man, it's cool actually. You know, people like love to hate you, and then that turns to love, which is what we've seen with Dominic, where, you know, people loved to boo him. And then you saw the reaction he got when he won the IC title at WrestleMania the other year. Got a major reaction because, you know, it turned to love. And we've seen that with Roman. People didn't like Roman as a babyface. But as soon as he turned heel, the people loved to kind of hate him. And then all of a sudden he became cool because he didn't care. He wasn't trying to win our affection. And that's cool. So I think that Sammy could lean into it and, you know, benefit him as well. I don't know which way they go with it. I think they've kind of found themselves in a situation they weren't really expecting. So I'm not sure there is a plan at the moment, but there could be. They could have something penciled in for SummerSlam. Shining Wizard said what Sammy is doing is breaking a fourth wall and ignoring kayfabe. I don't think that's good long-term strategy. William says, funny enough, Kiwi does have an avenue to become a wrestler. She's smart and figures going to college, getting her law degree and doing track and teaming. Who's that, William? Is that your niece? Is that your niece? Hello. I've got lots of people saying hello. Hello, Cooper. Hope you're doing well, buds. Let's go up here. Hello, Carl. Carl said, Daze, do we think that we should put Ray Phoenix and Dragon Lee in a team? I noticed WWE isn't using them. I think the talent WWE don't use much should go to AAA. Well, there's not loads of time, is there, with AAA? And AAA have got their own roster. So AAA has got like an hour. And, you've got to find a way of getting Wagner on and Octagon and, Mr. Iguana and all of that stuff. So it's a little bit tricky for AAA to be taking too much talent. But, I think this question got brought up the other day. I think that you could. Dragon Lee, I think, is just out injured at the moment. 2 to 3 weeks is what he said the other day. Ray Phoenix seems to be at a bit of a loss. Definitely would love to see him against Penta. Would not mind wherever we did that, but AAA would make a lot of sense. So Penta against Ray Phoenix. A banger, let's go. I'd be down for watching that. But equally, you could do Dragon Lee and Ray Phoenix as a team for a bit. Give them some momentum. Definitely think WWE have struggled with booking them up to this point. I don't know if they've got a plan for Ray Phoenix because he has featured a couple of times with Sammy. He was in the funeral thing with the gingerbread man. And then, interestingly, yesterday, Sammy was talking to Nick Aldis, and it was Ray Phoenix that once again was around. I don't know if that's just coincidence or if they're planting some seeds of like a Sammy Ray Phoenix feuds, which I would not be against because I think that could be really fun, actually. So they might have a plan for Ray Phoenix, and Dragon Lee, as we said, is just out injured. But of course, if they don't have plans for them, then putting them in a tag team and just getting them used, be that on SmackDown, be that on AAA, getting them used anywhere, is obviously going to be better than them just sitting in catering. Isaac, hello, said, how many shows are there? And was this month, like Saturday night's main event, Clash of Unity and Backlash? We could do Night of Champions because there's no Roman, but OC, there's time to build. How many shows are there? Well, you've got Raw, NXT, SmackDown, AAA, Evolve, which is the level below NXT. And then you've got TNA, which is like their own promotion, but WWE work with them. But WWE have got like a controlling stake in AAA. So in a way, that's WWE's like Mexican promotion. Then you've got obviously Raw, SmackDown. They're the two big drivers, and NXT is the developmental. So that's kind of how. That's all the different shows. In regards to the kind of specials, PLEs, whatever, we do 4 Saturday night main events a year, and we do have one coming up next week. We've only had 3 matches announced for it though. I mean, I was going to try and do predictions video, but it's going to be hard when there's only 3 matches. I feel like we're 2 matches missing. So we've got Penta against Ethan Page. We've got a 6-woman tag. And then we've got the tag title matches. The tag titles, which is Vision versus Street Profits. The 6-woman tag is going to be Fatal Influence versus Rhea, Alexa and Charlotte. So 3 matches is all we've got so far. That's next week. The bigger show is going to be Italy, of course. Italy, Clash in Italy. That's looking like it's going to have Roman and Jacob. Looking like it's going to have Gunther and Cody. So, I mean, that's going to be the big, show that follows from Backlash. And then, Night of Champions at the moment, that's coming up very soon. It's not in May. I don't know if it's June or July. I can't remember. I think it's June, maybe? June or July for Night of Champions. That is in Saudi Arabia, which is mental and must be a situation they're looking at. It's got to be something that they're aware of. It is mental that we have not sorted out what's going on in the Middle East. And there is this sort of ceasefire, which is not holding, but kind of holding, but not holding. And Donald Trump said there's like a 1% chance that it's going to hold. He's even got a new name for the next operation, which I can't remember what it was. It was Operation like Flaming Hammer or whatever, right? There is a new one that they've announced, which will be, the next campaign if they decide to pull the trigger on it. So, I don't know when Donald Trump's thinking of just going, right, we're getting nowhere. Let's go again. But, I mean, we are literally any hour they could do that, America. Donald Trump could decide to just, right, I'm tired of waiting. We're not getting anywhere with this ceasefire. And the whole thing can just flare back up again. How are you going to take the wrestlers to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia when you've got Iran basically at war with America and quite happy to chuck missiles around where they're hitting like the Qatar airport? They've hit Saudi Arabia as well. It's not that they can't reach Saudi Arabia. They've hit Saudi Arabia. And I don't know that like this show would be a target, but I wouldn't want to run the risk either if I was a wrestler. Even going right now would make me nervy, but with it all flaring back up again, it's money, obviously. WWE get paid like $50 million for these shows. It's a lot of money. Whether they're in negotiations to delay it, but the problem is you don't know when this is going to get resolved. Don't know when all of this is going to get sorted. It really comes down to WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump to kind of, decide what he's going to do and when he's going to pull the trigger and what the next steps are. It's very messy. Keegan said, I have baseball tomorrow depending on thunderstorms. I got a new bat today. Oh, it's blue and black. I even put my nickname on my bat, says Keegan. Keegan, shout out to you. Chris said, Undertaker could be Booker of the Year. Who knew? Should be calling off Night of Champions. Yes. There's no word on it being called off. They're obviously aware of the situation, but right now, posters and everything have gone out saying it's Riyadh and all of that. I think they're going to run it as late as they can. And if the war starts out, they've got to, haven't they? They've got to cancel it. As of right now, it's, still going that way. I haven't heard anything today about it, being off or anything like that, but definitely something to keep an eye on. I wonder if they're just focused on Italy first, and then once we get past Italy, they're probably hoping we'll have a much clearer idea. But we could still be in this same situation where it's like, is it happening? Is it not happening? Is there a ceasefire? Is there not a ceasefire? Don't know. Let's go down. I know it's unlikely, but if Night of Champions, none of the champions want to go, then WWE will have to change the name, says David. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine they will give the wrestlers that choice. I mean, I don't think you can really force people to be going to an area so close to a war zone. Saudi Arabia itself is not a war zone, but Iran is obviously just over the water. So, I mean, it's really not far away, and they have hit Saudi Arabia when, it was all kicking off. They have hit parts of Saudi Arabia. So that's Iran's strategy. I think Iran seems to know that it's obviously not going to hurt America's military power, because I mean America is the strongest military in the world. So the way that it's kind of responding is by hurting the neighbors. That seems to be the strategy, by closing off the Strait of Hormuz and hitting the neighbors. Again, we're not getting political, but for those that don't really know what's happening in that area, Iran is looking to hurt its neighbors in a hope that the neighbors will then put pressure on America to stop. Because Iran can't stop America. It doesn't have the military power. But it can hurt its neighbors and hope that they put the pressure on. So this is why going to Saudi Arabia, which is not far away from Iran, is very, very risky. Because one of Iran's strategies is to hurt its neighbors, and that would include Saudi Arabia. Daze, do we think the WEP could be a bit longer? More like Uncle Doug interview? Like even more Uncle Doug interview? No, definitely no. The WEP shouldn't go over an hour. But what we should do, and it's out of my control because I didn't even know Uncle Doug was coming on. What we should do is, if we're going to have a guest, bring them on earlier than we did. But I didn't even know we were bringing someone on, to be honest. But no, I'm a big believer that the WEP should be an hour, and that's it. And the reason for that is because the way I go into the WEP is I go into it with the mindset that we've got an hour, and my job is to try and make this hour fun. That's my job. I want to make this hour fun. I want to, anything that if we're bringing a guest on, let's have some fun. If I'm talking to Tommy, let's have some fun. If the conversation feels a bit dull, let's change it. And so for an hour, I'm just focused on how do we make this fun. I'm not interested really in going an hour and a quarter, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2 hours 15. Keep going and going and going. Like I would honestly, I would even put a thing in place where once we hit an hour, it doesn't even matter where the conversation is. It just cuts off the pod, and that's it. Because for 1 hour a week, I just want to make it as entertaining as I can. And, we're going to go down dead ends, and there's going to be things that don't work. For me, it makes it a bit messy. It makes it a bit chaotic. And I think that is part of the charm of the Wrestling Escape Pod. So if it just kept going and going and going and going and going, I think I would get tired, and I think I'd struggle to keep my energy up. And I think, it would just drift. So, I mean, if there are other shows out there that have got the ability to, go for long periods of time and make it entertaining and make it engaging and all of that, respect. For me, I think when it comes to the web, I just try to put on a really good hour, and that's my approach. William said, I hope politics can win the day. I know that the Iranian citizens are being told propaganda. They don't know. I do worry for my brothers and sisters that get fed BS their lives. Yeah, again, it's hard to kind of talk about Saudi Arabia without kind of getting into the politics. And because, everyone's going to have their own political takes on things. There is no unity to be found by us kind of going into politics, but you can't really talk about Saudi Arabia without talking a little bit about what's happening in the area. So hopefully we've managed to do that without getting too political, without causing any division or anything. So I'm quite happy to get in, say, kind of what the situation looks like, where the concerns are, get back out again. So yeah, I think we did okay with that. But yeah, there are concerns about, WWE going to that part of the world right now. Shining Wizard said, the only way to sort out this war mess is war games. Yes, let's go. Iron Sheik versus Corporal Kirshner. Oh my God. They did an LJN of Corporal Kirshner. That you can get a figure of him. They never made any others. I don't think I've ever seen Mattel make one. But, yeah, Corporal Kirshner. Fun. BB Yipsy said, Daze, I've got the Netflix special of MMA tonight. Who have we got winning out of Ronda and Gina? I don't know, but, I ain't seen either fight for years and years and years. So, it makes it hard to know kind of where we are right now. So, if I've got to pick a name, I'd just pick Ronda. I think she's pretty firm favourite when I saw the odds. I think she was like minus 700, something along those lines. So it seems to be that people are thinking that she's got the skills, the submissions and everything to get the win. I saw some shots of her striking. Striking was never her forte, to be honest. But I don't know. I won't be too shocked which way it goes. But if I was a betting man, I'd probably have my money on Ronda. Days on a positive note, I'm starting to get my high school body back, says Keegan. Is that good? Doesn't that mean you're smaller than you used to be? Because surely you were smaller at high school. TMS said Danhausen is very nice, very evil. Yes. Officially the first ever celebrity spokesperson for the iconic General Mills cereal Count Chocula. Is he? Well, that is prestigious. That's a big one. I mean, it's all well and good going and speaking at the UN or, you know, winning some sort of Medal of Honor or appearing in like some massive box office film. But the one that people really want, what every wrestler really aspires for, is to be the official spokesperson for the General Mills cereal Count Chocula. And I think for Danhausen to achieve that just months after coming into WWE is actually wonderful. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. Does that put him on the box? If he's not on the box, I'm taking it all back. He's got to be on the box. I'd buy some Danhausen cereal, to be honest. Have we got any thoughts on who he's bringing back to life? Because he seemed to be building a monster. He wants to build a proper monster. My brain idiotically went Braun Strowman, but it is idiotic because they keep teasing these things and it's never someone that exciting. So I don't know what to quite expect. There's certainly not been any words or rumours or anything like that, so... Wrestler Andy said, do we think MMA is going the way of boxing in the sense that there'll be celeb and retired fights doing big numbers with spectacle fights rather than the current best in the world? I think that Jake has seen an opportunity for that. And obviously, you know, you've got some big names that are out there that you could bring back. You know, I mean, if they got Brock Lesnar to agree to a fight in MMA, I mean, that would do big numbers. I mean, if you could get Conor, I mean, Conor's still with UFC, but I mean, I don't know what the situation is there, but any sort of Conor event is going to do big numbers. So, you know, your Brocks, your Conors, maybe Anderson Silva, but I don't know. I mean, he was one of my favorites. I think that would play well with, you know, it is true, like, modern MMA is a bit strange because I don't know why, but it does seem to be struggling to build those big names. It's got names. I don't know that I can compare them to an Anderson Silva. Certainly can't compare to a Brock Lesnar or a Ronda Rousey. There is no Conor McGregor's, right? There is definitely no Conor McGregor's. You've got people like Sean O'Malley, Chimaev, Islam Makhachev, maybe Aspinall, Alec Pereira. You know, you've still got Max Holloway around, Gaethje, Ilia Topuria. I mean, there's great fighters, but I don't know, man. Like, it's hard, isn't it, to kind of break through. This is where I think it's very interesting that Eddie Hearn has just started a talent agency and he's signed Tom Aspinall. And I wonder if that's what's missing. I wonder if the UFC is like very good at putting on cards and events, but they leave the fighters really to just build their own profiles. They don't really go out their way to do anything with the fighters unless they're putting a fight on for them. I wonder if there is a space for someone like an Eddie Hearn or even a Jake Paul or someone that could come in and get these great fighters more exposure, get them onto late night shows, get them sponsorship deals, get them at, like, you know, different parties, being seen on the red carpet, like, you know, boost the profile that way, you know. I do think there is a space in the market for that. And so, yeah, I think that there is an opportunity, certainly as Netflix is chucking money around at the moment, trying to find these big kind of spectacle things, events. I think there is an opportunity to bring some fighters in. You know, the Diaz brothers always generated good numbers, but I don't think there's as large a pool of MMA fighters that can draw numbers the same way that there is boxers. I think there's more boxers that can draw numbers. But to be honest, if the story's good, if you can really get some beef going, it doesn't really matter who it's between, you know? It doesn't really matter. As long as there's like some real life beef and it really does kind of grab attention, does well on social media, you can put them two into a cage, make them fight, make them box, and it'll generate numbers. Because, you know, there's like a hatred there, there's a story there, people will want to see. I mean, in a way, that's kind of pro wrestling, isn't it? We manufacture beef and then we do the match for the payoff, right? But it works. I mean, it still works. It's always going to work, where you get some beef going in the real world and then people want to see, you know. But it's got to be something interesting. It's got to be something that's, you know, imagine if they did flipping Drake versus Kendrick Lamar the other year. That would have broken pay-per-view records. Because of the beef that was going on between them. Obviously, it would have broken records anyway, but yeah, if you can get, like, you know, something going on social media, you could get somewhere. So I think there's going to be lots of opportunity with all of that. And it is interesting. This is, to my knowledge, the first MMA spectacle. I don't recall Netflix doing an MMA one before. I don't remember MVP doing an MMA special either. So, I mean, it is special in that regard. And there are some big names. Ngannou's a massive name. Ngannou, imagine if they could get Ngannou, Brock Lesnar going or something. I mean, what would that do? That could do some numbers. So, yeah, interesting. But MMA-wise, I don't think they quite hit the same level as boxing did. I mean, there's lots, you know, there's no one that's going to be doing what Mike Tyson does, other than maybe Conor. I mean, if you got Conor versus Jake Paul in an MMA fight, that would do massive numbers. Of course it would. That would do massive numbers. So, yeah, there is something to it. Ronda was asked to rank these 5 wrestlers. She ranked Brock at 1, Cena at 2, Rhea at 3, herself at 4, Logan at 5. Do you agree? I don't know what we're ranking that in. I don't know what we're ranking that by. I mean, I would say Cena is a bigger deal than Brock. I can understand why she would put Brock at 1, because Brock has beaten Cena many times. But he doesn't have as many world title reigns. He didn't do as many dates. I don't think that the affection for Brock is the same level as it is for Cena. So I don't know how she's ranking it. If she's ranking it by how badass people are, I'm interested in the fact she put Rhea above herself. That's interesting. That would say to me she's got a lot of affection for Rhea. A lot of affection. So I think Logan last. I agree with that. Although some people, of course, would put Ronda last. Cena, Brock, I think you could switch. Rhea being in third place, I don't have a problem with. Yeah, largely agree. I don't think there's too much there. I would just question 1 and 2. I think a lot of people would probably put Cena at 1. Because when we talk about Mount Rushmores, you hear a lot of people saying that Cena's on there or just at 5. You don't actually hear Brock getting mentioned that often. A lot of people, Mount Rushmores, are like Rock, Stone Cold. Cena can make it along with Hogan. And then, like, Roman gets mentioned, Cena gets mentioned, Hogan gets mentioned, Roman. Those are the names. You don't hear Brock that much, actually, whenever you ask people that question. I'm sure if you do mention him, they'd go, yeah, he'd be up there. But I don't think I really don't think people would be putting him at the top. And it's probably just largely down to the amount of inactivity. He was more of an attraction, rather than coming in and like working like big programs. I think it's probably that really that keeps him from that spot. Hannah said, Daze, holla. Based on this decade of 80s, 90s, 2000s, 10s, and 20s, what was the best year for each of the decades? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. In regards to the 80s, I think the best year is 87. The reason why I would say that is because WrestleMania 3. And I think that up until 85, you can throw away because WrestleMania is so revolutionary. I think 85 would be right up there because WrestleMania 1 is so important. You hear all the time that if that didn't work, WWE would go out of business. So there's nothing before that which I think is as important. But 85 for WrestleMania, and I think Hulkamania is hit its groove by that point. Hogan comes in 84 and beats the Iron Sheik. Before that, you've obviously got Bob Backlund, who was not seen as a great champion. There was no WrestleMania around. I think Vince takes the company in 83, so I mean you're dealing with Vince's dad, so it's sort of a bit of a different company really before Vince takes over. Vince spends those first few years expanding, so 85 has got to be the culmination of everything. But I think we continue to bring in people as time goes by, and I think WrestleMania 3 is the pinnacle. I mean, that Hogan Andre moment, Hulkamania is in full swing at that point. Andre is the biggest challenge that Hogan has faced up to that point. Numbers are like, I don't know what the actual numbers were, 70-odd thousand in, but it's like, yeah, for me, I'd go with that. Off the success of that, we bring in SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Those were good events, and they definitely strengthened things. But I think, that whole Hogan-Andre thing, it leads to the rematch, which obviously generates the biggest TV audience WWE has ever seen. I think it works out at like a 30 million views for that, which I think might be 88, but it connects to, it's the rematch from Hogan Andre in 87. So that whole thing just kind of leads together. So you're talking about the biggest WrestleMania, the biggest views they ever get. It's got to be 87 going into 88. There's nothing before that can reach that level. The only thing you would say is 85 because that's the first year they take the chance on WrestleMania. In regards to the 90s, well, you got to go Attitude Era, of course. I think it kept getting stronger financially. So 98 is the first proper full year of Attitude Era. 99, they're in full swing, so I'm going to go 99 because I think I'm right in saying financially, and certainly with their lead over WCW, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm going to go with that. For the same reason, I think, when's WrestleMania 28? WrestleMania 28 is 2012, is it? Yeah, 2012, because WrestleMania 29 is 2013. So WrestleMania 28 is very special, financially absolutely huge for WWE, the biggest WrestleMania financially up to that point. That's when they do Cena versus Rock. So 2012 is a very special year. 2014 is fantastic with the whole Daniel Bryan thing. I think 2014 is a great year for in-ring, but with the whole Rock Cena builds, I think you go 2012. In regards to the 2000s, I'm trying to think if there's any way you can go for something that's not 2001, because 2001 is WWE beating WCW. It's the best WrestleMania ever with WrestleMania 17. Ruthless Aggression does good stuff, keeps the thing going, but I don't know that I can make an argument that any of those years are better than Attitude Era years, and 2001 is still an Attitude Era year. And really, the next period I would say that was good financially, really big numbers, is WrestleMania 28, and that is 2012. So I'm going to go 2001. WCW is defeated. We do the WrestleMania 17. We do the invasion angle, which was very captivating at the time, but obviously we were waiting for something better to come along, and it didn't really. But it was still a really good time, and very financially successful time for the company as well. So I'll go with that. So what have I gone with? 87 going into 88, 99, 2001. Then I'd be torn with, I think I'd go 2012, but I might look at 2014 because WrestleMania 30 was awesome, the whole Daniel Bryan stuff. But he gets injured after, doesn't he? Which is a real shame. We do bring Sting in at the end of the year, but I'll go 2012. I'll go 2012. I think the Rock Cena stuff just is massive. So good they do it again in 2013. That once in a lifetime becomes twice in a lifetime. And actually, I think the quality of WWE goes down in the 2010s. I think by the time you get into, AJ Styles coming in 2016, that gives us a boost. We get some fantastic matches out of that. We're obviously digging into Roman as the top guy and everything. But I think the quality of the shows, the general consensus is that by the time we get into like 2018 and 2019 in particular, we're struggling. And then we really hit the iceberg with the pandemic. So 2020, 2021, just throw away. 2022 is very turbulent. That's when Vince steps away, Triple H takes over. I think 2023 and 2024 are the years. I think I would look at which of those two would you go? 2024, I think we struggle once we get past WrestleMania 40. I don't think the back end of 2024 is... I think we look at that with rose-tinted glasses. I think we look at it with rose-tinted glasses because I think we've got... a real decline after the Bloodline. It was just that we didn't quite know. We were like, Netflix is coming in 2025. That'll be so good. And it wasn't. And we know 2025 is a really bad year. So I think that decline happens at the end of 24. So I'm going to say 2023. I think we've still got Cody trying to finish the story. We've still got Bloodline in full flow. Sammy is still with them. So, we've got that happening as well. Sammy, I think, betrays Roman, is it in 2023 at the start? Which then means that we do that amazing Elimination Chamber in early 2023. Cody tries to finish the story, doesn't, succeeds, goes into a feud with Brock. I wasn't really crazy about that Brock feud, to be honest. But, I think there's the end of that year, we get the return of CM Punk. And so there's 2023, I think, for me, is the that's the pinnacle. 2024 is still really good, but we start to see a decline at the end, and then we are where we are. So, I'd go like along those lines. Hogan Cutter said 2011 was trash until CM Punk's pipe bomb, and that's what made that great. WWE was pretty good until the AC injury. I think 2016 had one bright spot being Cena Styles. I think the rest was bad, said Hogan Cutter. Robbie said, I hope we get more matches added to the Noche de los Grandes. So far, still only 2 that have been advertised. Is that the name of the show on the 30th? I know Mask versus Mask. I don't know what else is on that, actually. Let's have a look. Not sure. There it is. So Wagner Jr. versus Vikingo for the Latin American Championship. So, yeah, 2 matches. How many did they have last year at this event? Is there a way of looking? Is this a new event? Did they AAA? Where are we? We're in July. AAA. We're in June. We're in... Rey de Reyes. All right. I don't really have anything similar to this last year. It seems to go Rey de Reyes, and then the very next show, which was on June 7th, was Worlds Collide. So I'm guessing Worlds Collide kind of took the spot of this show. I wonder why we're not doing a Worlds Collide again. But we didn't. But we did it last year. It was on June 7th, which is only a week after the show that we've got coming up at the end of May. And it had 5 matches on it. So I think it's probably fair to say we'll probably get 5 matches again this time. So we've had 2, so they need to add another 3. It'd be nice to get Flammer against La Catalina. That'd be good. I'd like to see that match being added. Flammer versus La Catalina. Maybe we could make some progress with that tonight on this show, where we get like a little bit there, where we get to see. I think the La Catalina definitely feels like she's the one that's going to get the title from Flammer. I could definitely see that happening. So yeah, I think she'll be the one to take that belt. I'd love to get that match added. I don't know what we've been doing with Psycho Clown and Pagano. That was a very interesting situation. I don't know what's happening there. I could see that leading to something. I don't know if we get Mini Vikingo, but he was excellent. Last time I tuned in to AAA, which was like a few weeks ago, it was Vikingo versus Mini Vikingo, and that was excellent. That match was so good. I would not hate him being on the card. I wouldn't hate Penta finding a way onto the card, although I don't know how realistic that is. Obviously Dominic as well. I mean, surely Dominic's going to have to defend the AAA championship. So surely Dominic finds a way of getting onto the card. I don't know who it would be against. But Dominic, maybe we could do Finn versus Dominic or something again. I don't know. I don't know who's sniffing around Dominic at the moment, but surely he gets on. Maybe that would be it. That would be 3, wouldn't it? Whatever's going on with Pagano and Psycho Clown and all of that. Dominic and Flammer. That would be 3 matches added to the 2 that we've got, and then that gets to the 5, and probably going to be around that. I was at WrestleMania 23, said Yipsy, and that was trash. Pagano and Psycho Clown keep getting attacked by the War Raiders, said Robbie. I wonder if that'll be a tag match. Who's got the tag belts in AAA at the moment? Could it be a tag match? Could it be... Here's the list of champs. Pagano and Psycho Clown have got the belts. The World Tag Team Championship. So could it be that we see them against Viking Raiders? And that gets added. Then do Flammer versus La Catalina. And then do Dominic versus someone. I'm sure we can find someone. Some baby face. And then, of course, you've got Mask versus Mask. And you've also got Vikingo against Wagner as well. Danhausen used mini-Hausens at Backlash. You would think that he would get someone massive. I think he tried to get someone massive. It's just it didn't work out, and they came out mini. So he's trying to get someone massive now, I think. Yeah, I think he's trying to get his kind of cloning thing to work better than it did. I don't know. I don't know who to expect there. If anyone's got any names, then chuck them in. Isaac said, didn't we do 2 Worlds Collide last year? Not sure. There was the AAA one. I don't know if there was another one. There was a bit of a show between TNA and what was that called? Didn't they change the name of that? It was going to be called like Invasion, but then didn't it happen around the anniversary of the Israel-Palestine thing, and so they had to change it. They changed it, didn't they? I remember that controversy. So there was that, which was basically TNA versus NXT, but they didn't go with the Worlds Collide name. I think they were trying to go with like an Invasion name, and then they changed it to like, I don't know, the Tussle or something. The Disagreement. Showdown. Is that what they changed it to? Showdown, Bishop. Omos or Strowman, said Stuart. Omos or Strowman. There was two. One was a Worlds Collide, and the other was a Worlds Collide in Las Vegas, said Alex. OG Americano versus Grande Americano. Match today or later in the month? Later in the month. Yeah, that one's on May 30th. We're about 13 days away from that. I feel like the guy Danhausen cloned could be Braun Strowman, says Carl. Dos Santos says, who dat, says Glockness. Let's go up. Santana's contract's coming up shortly, and he's expected to come over. Yeah, I'd love to see Mike Santana come over. I've always been impressed with whenever he's worked with NXT, so that would be great. Stuart said, no, these aren't pay-per-views. One-off specials. It's just exposure, more episodic. Mini Vikingo against Jack Cartwheel, said Flamefist. He's got a little injury, hasn't he, at the moment, Jack Cartwheel? So I don't know how long he's going to be out for. Wishing him a very speedy recovery, because I've so enjoyed watching him work, and I'd love to see that match. Mini Vikingo versus Jack Cartwheel would be great. Knowing the cloning machine, it will probably be a baby, says David. Simbarash, shout out to you. Loving the beards. Oh, yeah, it's called laziness. It's lazy. I can't be bothered to flipping shave or do anything like that. So, yeah, laziness. I heard about Cartwheel getting injured, said Flamefist. Daze, how are you? I'm good, Adam. Hope you're doing well, buds. Isaac said, if there was a wrestling documentary that could be made, what would you choose? Oh, I would love a documentary that just covers the early stages of WWE, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff out there about the 80s and 90s, and I mean, there's all of that gets covered. But I mean, it really is like getting a torch and sort of shining a light into the 60s and the 70s. 60s in particular, there's very little around. So WWE have got this massive vault of film. Like, apparently it's in like a mountain. Like, it's a proper like evil lair, just full of like hundreds of thousands of footage, rolls of footage. You got to remember that a lot of the times when they film a match, they use several different cameras, and all of that footage tends to get saved for different angles and everything. So each show has several rolls of, like, you know, film coming from different cameras or digital files or whatever. And I don't know. I don't know how like the WWE vault works in regards to, you know, them finding footage and uploading it. I'm not sure if there's just someone that's working at that place that's kind of just finding this stuff, or how that's working. But I would love for more 60s and 70s, because I think there's a lot of wrestling that's been lost to history. There's a lot of wrestlers. I mean, if you ask the average person to name 10 wrestlers from the 1960s, WWF, I mean, people would struggle. I might struggle. I'd have to be thinking about who Bruno kind of competed against, because I know a few of his feuds throughout that time period. But I mean, you know, what was going on with the tag titles in that time? I don't even know when the tag titles came in, actually. That might have been early 70s. I know the IC belt didn't come in until the 70s. But, like, there were tag teams. And what was going on in that time, like, in the mid-card, and what feuds did we have, and what wrestlers. I think there's so much information there. Whole careers that are just lost to time, you know? I mean, I think you could do a really interesting, like, proper fascinating, this was the setup, this is how it worked, these were the people, here's some stories you've never heard. I mean, think of some of the stories. Think of some of the stories of things that must have been going on in that time. Proper shenanigans and bar fights and betrayals, and like, there must be so much stuff that you can dig into. No one has really done it or approached it. I think that would be absolutely fascinating. I would enjoy that, I think, more than I would like, I don't know, going back to the Montreal screw job or anything. I feel like all of that's been covered. Anything really 90s, 2000s, all of that I think has been covered, but there's a lot to learn about the 60s and the 70s. So I would love that. I'd love to learn more about that. I'd love to learn more about like the scheduling, the shows they were running, any stories where, they, got into a bit of trouble with anything or there was any fights or whatever. I think there's a lot of meat on that bone. So yeah, I would love that. I would also love just, I think, a couple of hours of Vince where he sits down and just gets asked really the questions the fans want answers to. There's a lot of stuff that's out there, but I think it would be really good if you could just, Vince is not going to be with us forever. Vince is also a very controversial person, of course, but Vince knows more about the history of WWE than anyone else because it's his company, and every decision he made, he knows why he made it and what he was trying to achieve. And, wouldn't it be amazing to just ask Vince, what did you feel was missing at this time? Or what was the number one match you always wanted to make but never could get it over the line? And what a great question that would be. I don't know that Vince really worries so much about those things, so I can't say the answer would be that interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if his answer was like, I don't ever really worry about stuff like that. There's a couple of times that we thought of doing like Hogan, Ric Flair or something, but, the feedback was that it just wasn't the right direction, so we always tried to give the fans the matches that, the best matches we could at the time. And we always tried to give the fan, I think his answer might be something like that. I don't know that he would turn around and say, well, I always wanted to do Mr. Perfect versus The Rock or something like this, I'm not sure you'd ever get like a real meaty, satisfying answer like that. Is there someone you wish could have been WWE champion, but you just never did it because of the way they acted? Or... the fact the fans just never took to them. Would he have loved to have put that belt onto Batista? Well, he did put the belt on Batista, but like, would he have loved to have put that belt onto a British Bulldog, right? I'm trying to think of someone that never won that title. But like, was there someone that had the look of a Batista or that looked amazing that he would love to have pulled the trigger with? And he was like, yeah, this is going to be the guy. But, just never could because they just never got over, like a Test, like a British Bulldog, one of those type guys. I think that would be interesting. I think those kind of things would be quite interesting to find out from Vince. He has done sit down interviews with Stone Cold. He did one with Pat as well. There was the Mr. McMahon documentary where he was asked questions. So I think it'd be interesting I'd be interested to know what questions people would have for Vince that then could be put to him in a documentary. So I think before he passes, it'd be good to get as much info out of that brain as we could so that it's not lost. That would be good. So a documentary, something there would be interesting, but not like the history of WWE, more digging into Vince's mind of why we did certain things. I don't need the history of WWE. I've heard it a million times. But more, why did we do this? Why didn't we do that? Do you wish you could have done this? What's your biggest regret? What was your biggest success? Why did we not? Why do you think the network didn't quite reach the heights you were hoping? His answer to that would probably be it did. It's just there was a better option that came along or whatever, right? But I think that would be really interesting. I'd love to see something like that. Daze there. How about a Netflix card of Connor Nate? Yeah. Anderson GSP? Yeah. Brock Francis? Ronda Amanda Jones DC? Well, that would be incredible. I don't know if it's a bit too stacked, actually, because I think you bang on with all of those. I don't know if it's not better to do a couple and then fill out the cards and then do another couple to get another card, But if you did that as a whole big night, that's probably what like the UFC 250 Freedom show should look like, where it's just these big names and There's quite a bit of American talent that you've listed there with DC, Jones, Ronda, Brock, Nate. So there's quite a lot of American talent there as well, which is good. So, I mean, an amazing card. Absolutely. If you want to put all your eggs in one basket, let's go. Flame Fist said Chris Masters. Probably Chris Masters. Yeah, had a great look. Flame Fist said Vince is one of a kind. Yeah, I just think there's... I don't know what the... I've not really got like the questions particularly that I would ask, but I know it would be along the lines of what's the big regret? What's the one match you wanted to make but never could get over the line? Who's the person you wish you could have built the company around, but for whatever reason it just never worked? What's the most trouble that you ever found yourself in? Probably the steroid trial. I don't think he'd want to be talking about the stuff now. I don't know. I always think whenever you ask a question, you've always got to... It's not so much about trying to think what the right question is. It's more, can you answer it? Can you answer the question already? Robert Stone did this the other day, the NXT general manager. He did a thing where he said, ask me anything. And I did. I asked him a question. But there was several questions that I could have asked that I didn't. Because you could have asked, like, who most excites you in NXT? What's the one talent you're most excited by? It's a perfectly great question. I don't know, though, that he would give you a name. Because I think he'd be like, well, there's so many. We're so lucky to have the roster. I can sort of figure out an answer that I think he would give me for that. And I don't know that it would be a satisfying answer. You can always try it and you might be surprised. But, you know, he might turn around and go, well, we're so blessed to have so many talents. You know, we've got such a strong blah, 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 you know, that kind of thing, where he doesn't actually give you an answer. It's more, I love everyone that we've got. So the question I ended up asking him is, did you seek any specific piece of advice from William Regal when you became GM? And if so, what? Because I thought, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if he has looked for any advice. And if he has, what would it be? So I was like, kind of like that, because I can't answer that myself. I don't know what his answer to that would be. And he did give an answer, and I showed it in Unseen, actually. He said yes. The big piece of advice that he got back from Mr. Regal was that if you say you're going to do something, do it. And I was like, okay, I like that, because I didn't know what the answer was going to be. And even though the answer's not like earth-shattering, oh my God, have you heard what Mr. Stoner said? I still kind of liked it. He's kind of saying, like, if you're going to do something and say you're going to do something, follow it up. Make sure you do it. And I was like, yeah, I kind of like that answer. That's a good answer. So you kind of have to, when you're thinking of questions, you have to sort of think, like, what's the answer that they could give you? And is there a sort of political way out of the question where they're just going to bat it away, you know? Have you got any regrets? I mean, the answer to that is no, I don't. Okay, it's an answer. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. So you have to sort of really think and give a lot of thought to the questions. I'd be very interested to see what would come out of a documentary where Vince was put a lot of very interesting kind of probing questions to see how he would answer those. I'd like to see that. I doubt he'd put himself in that position, though. But, yeah. The original WrestleMania 37 main event was going to be Reggie versus Sasha versus Bianca in an intergender triple threat match. Well, I'll tell you, if Vince revealed that, that would be fascinating. Days, the White House show is on a Sunday, June 14th. It's not a Saturday. So you can do AAA and you won't have to worry about it. That's great. I don't know why we don't do more of that type stuff, to be honest, where we can actually use Saturday and Sunday. But you'll have to ask TKO. I think genuinely they feel like there's not loads of crossover between AAA and between WWE and UFC. So they just don't think there's, you know, they don't feel like they're missing out. Well, they are, because I would definitely be watching UFC, and I don't get a chance to do it as much now, so it's very frustrating. 1960s wrestlers at WWF said Gypsy were the likes of Bruno and Buddy Rogers, Bobo Brazil, Pedro Morales, Killer Kowalski, Gorilla Monsoon, Captain Lou Albano, Skull Murphy, that's not a name that resonates, Arnold Scarland, Johnny Biand, that's not a name that resonates, Original Sheik, Ernie Ladd. Was the Original Sheik in WWF, was he? In that time period? That's interesting, because he had his own promotion. So I would have thought he would have been there, but perhaps they did bring him in for some stuff. So, yeah, Killer Kowalski, Gorilla Monsoon, those would be names that would kind of come to my mind. Bobo Brazil, Buddy Rogers. I don't know how much he did actually, because he had that match, didn't he? And then claimed that he had, suffered a major injury. So I mean, he's the first WWF champion. But then I think he sort of kind of goes into a bit of a semi-retirement, doing tag matches and stuff like that. So I think he does still compete with WWF, but that would be something that would be really interesting. I think I'd like a documentary on Buddy Rogers, actually. I mean, he's a really important wrestler. He's the first WWE champion, WWF champion, Capital Wrestling. He's the first champ. So it's very important. But because his reign was like 30-odd days, whatever, it doesn't really get spoken about. I don't know if he's seen as a bit of a transitional champion, but he was a legit great wrestler. And I think I don't think he drew very well in that very short time period, though. And I think they kind of saw Bruno and what Bruno was doing in Toronto, and they were like, yeah, we want Bruno. And so they decided Bruno was the right guy. So, they end up putting the belt on Bruno very quickly. But yeah, I think I'd like a bit of a documentary on Buddy Rogers. So yeah, that time period, fascinating. I just wish there was more info out there. So BBB Yipsy, thank you, buds. Appreciate it. Wouldn't be his number one guy if he was still in charge today. He can't have Roman or Theory, said Davids. Vince wanted Flair Hogan to be bigger than the Andre event, but it did bomb on the house circuit. There is matches of Hogan Flair from that time period, house show match that got uploaded to YouTube. I was watching it just to see the reactions, and I think it was interesting because obviously that's quite infamous, the fact that that was where it was going to go down and we didn't do it, and that it was because of the house shows. So the fact that they uploaded one of those house shows, I wanted to see how bad it was, and I wanted to see the reaction. It was all right. It was fine. I don't know what he saw that made him lose confidence. But, yeah, that is like one that got away, isn't it? You bring in Flair, who's running around claiming to be the real world's champion, and you've got Hogan and Hulkamania. I mean, it's a no-brainer, and you've got all this talk of Ric Flair proving is the number one. You've got Hogan being number one. I mean, them being on a collision course is just an absolute no-brainer. The facts, it's a real misstep because WrestleMania 8 would be so much more fondly remembered if it was Hogan Flair. And even if Hogan wins, it doesn't matter. Hogan was winning a lot back then, of course. So if we'd have done Hogan Flair, Hogan wins at 8. Flair loses at 8 anyway. So just putting them in the same match and doing, because it would have gone that way. It would have been a Hogan win. I don't think anyone doubts that. But yeah, and I don't even think Flair would have minded doing it. It wouldn't even have been that Flair was the problem, which is crazy, isn't it? Instead, we end up with Macho Man Flair, which is a great match. That is a great match. I am pleased that we got that. And we end up with, the main event of Sid Hogan, which is not a great match. We actually rewatched WrestleMania 8 earlier this year. In the build to this year's Mania, they kind of put that on the vault, and we watched it, and it sucked. It was not good. So, yeah, I think WrestleMania 8 suffers from not having a better main event, and, well, that would have been it. Okay, We are getting closer towards the start of this thing. We got about 10 minutes to go. If you are just joining us, AAA, we've got the Creed brothers in action tonight. We've got Mr. Iguana in action tonight. And obviously, we're going to be building towards that big show that comes up in 2 weeks' time. This time next week, we'll be doing Saturday night's main event. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be here for this AAA show and Clash in Italy. We've got a very busy month this month. Lots going on. Lots for us to get our teeth into. It's just a little bit of a quiet Saturday this week. So we're doing AAA. Let's get it up on screen. Let's go down here. WWE or not. I love to have someone. Sadie. I don't know quite what we're saying there, but if you're a WWE fan, shout out to you. Right, let's get this lined up, ready to go. Andy said another one, it would be Shamrock and Gracie in exhibition fights. CM Punk versus Mike Jackson in a grudge match. I'm not sure that CM Punk would want that, to be honest. It felt, well, I don't know, actually, because there was shenanigans, wasn't there? Was that the one where, you know, results got changed because of, was it cheating, drugs and whatnot? CM Punk, let's have a little look. So, because he has 2 fights, doesn't he? And yeah, that's the one. The Mike Jackson one is a no contest. It gets overturned, so he does lose. It's originally an unanimous decision win for Jackson, but it got overturned after he tested positive for marijuana. I mean, he managed to beat up CM Punk whilst being stoned. That's impressive, isn't it? I mean, the loss to Mickey Gall stands in 2016, but in 2018, the loss to Mike Jackson is overturned to a no contest. So, King Yeti, thank you, my friends. Appreciate it. King Yeti, thank you, buds. Robbie said, who cares about Rhodes' fight on AAA? I'm here for some Lucha Libre. Sadie said, love you so much, I am a member. Sadie, shout out to you. Welcome. Yeah. I looked up, I realised it's almost time. Yeah, we got 7 minutes. I've heated up some barbecue chicken pizza. I was pleasantly surprised to see Daze doing the watch along. Daze, who's your favourite wrestler on AAA and why? Said Mr. Dell Jr. Yeah, so Mini Vikingo has caught my attention. Really been enjoying that. Flammer has caught my attention. So I really enjoyed her match with Bailey. So I'm looking forward to seeing her against La Catalina. Haven't seen La Catalina. I know that she created a buzz in CMLL, has come over to AAA. Haven't had a chance to kind of catch up with her work. So that's a match I'd like to see, though. Lots of buzz around her. I was very impressed with Flammer Bailey, so I want to see that match. Mini Vikingo against Vikingo. Incredible. You know, just incredible. What a fantastic match that was. So Mini Vikingo, still so young as well. So very much on the radar. Vikingo I already knew about because I'd seen him in AEW. So he's someone that's not really in the WWE kind of world, but great talent. Yeah, he might be the best of all of them, actually. But I knew about him already. I don't mind Psycho Circus. I mean, I think there's a bit of fun to be had there. And there's a bit of a bit of that lucha style, but it's a bit brawling as well in places. It's a bit more of a blend, actually. It's not just like them flipping all over the place. It's a bit more hard hitting in certain spots. No nonsense. Feel like you definitely get that from Pagano, you know. So Psycho Circus thing is pretty fun. I don't mind watching their matches. We saw them against the likes of the Wyatts, and that was pretty fun. I'd be down for watching them against War Raiders. So, I mean, that would be okay. But yeah, I think like Jack Cartwheel, shone. Mini Vikingo has shone. Flammer has shone. Vikingo, we already knew about. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, Wagner's fine. Octagon's fine. I think there's a lot that I've sort of got in a bit of a clump and they haven't necessarily broke out. But yeah, those are a few names that would kind of come to mind. But obviously the red hot story at the moment is the El Grande stuff. That's like the real big stuff. That's the one that seems to have got like the most hype and the most attention. Carl said La Catalina was in WWE before CMLL. Yeah, she was that masked kind of. She was with Sin Cara, but I think that was quite a while ago now, actually, where she was wearing that mask. And I remember watching a few of her matches. I wasn't really blown away. She ends up like leaving WWE, reinventing herself, and I think the version we've got now is, I don't know, she seems to have found a bit of momentum, a bit of a groove. She seems to have found the right presentation. To be honest with you, I remember her when she was wearing that mask, right? And she was with I think it was Sin Cara, and I think we were doing watch-alongs and whatever. I felt like she was quite old. You could have convinced me that she was like 38, 39 at that time. Turns out she was about 17. I'm stunned to find out that La Catalina was, I can't remember what her name was, but I had absolutely no idea. I thought this was like some lucha Dora that was like, blooming, had a hell of a career already. I didn't realize she was just starting out. So, yeah, you are correct. I would sort of dismiss that because I think that was her not really quite finding who she was. I'm pleased she doesn't wear that mask and use that ring gear anymore. I think what she's doing now is a lot more captivating. Very excited to see kind of, what the future holds for her. I could see her coming into Raw, SmackDown eventually. Okay. El Grande Americano, German pride. Yeah. Daze live as a heel. That's why she could want to perform Trouble again. Yes, at SummerSlam. Also, she's more likely knows that the fans booed the heck out of that song. True. It's a good heel thing to do, isn't it? The fans, she knows the fans aren't fans of it. So let's flip in. Let's run it back. Okay, here we go then, friends. We've been chatting away about, well, God, anything and everything we've been putting the world to rights. So right now we got AAA about to get underway. I just hope it's going to be a fun show, and I can't see why it won't be. I don't think I've ever tuned into AAA and not been impressed or kind of come away like regretting it. Shiny Wizard said, I'm bopping around to the music here. What, to Trouble? Liv Morgan's Trouble. Let's go. If Grande doesn't win on the 30th, I'm just going to stop watching wrestling, says King Yeti. Edward said Bailey Lola saved La Catalina during the La Toxica attack last Saturday. Robbie said Mosey's a big fan of Liv's song. I have heard this, yes. I have heard this. Okay. So, Creed Brothers tonight against El Fiscal and Aerostar. I don't know much about the Fatal 4-Way tag match. We got Money Machine. We got Mr. Iguana and La Parka. We got the Bad Boys. We got the Tokyo Bad Boys. And we got NGD. Here we go. Here we go, kings and queens. Cancer's Warrior said, I can't hear Daze. I've got WWE on TV now. That is fair. That is fair. Right. We're about to get underway. Shiny Wizard said, I seem to remember we had a Liv mega fan here once. I think that was actually a Liv burner account, to be honest. I think that was Liv herself. Okay, we got the intro. I think it's the intro, is it? For the AAA. Hey! Hey! I wonder if it's just going to be like an hour of intros. There we go. Now we see in the arena. We bring you the energy and the adrenaline of one of the hottest brands in WWE. Okay. The Aztec Giant. That'll actually be quite fun, that hand. We haven't really been paying attention. Galeno is going to be in action. Known as the Aztec Giant. We got Mr. Iguana as well. Oh, and there's OG Americano. OG Americano. Look at the heats. Oh, making his way down. People are booing away. He was kind of really getting in the face of a few people there. Creed's with him. So, OG Americano in the house. He's going to be coming down to the ring with the Creeds, I would imagine. So, I'm guessing, are we starting... So, is this the Tokyo Bad Boys? Let's go. Yeah, so it's going to be the tag match. This is going to be pretty chaotic, pretty wild, pretty fun. I would imagine it's just going to be non-stop action. So if you're wondering where this is, it's on the WWE YouTube channel. If you go over there, you'll be able to find it on the live section. Okay, Money Machine are coming down. Okay, Money Machine are getting a thumbs up from JBL. They make people feel bad about being poor whilst they're rich. I love these guys, says JBL. Okay, so that's the gimmick then, is that they've got money and they like to point that out. Okay, Money Machine then have made their way down. Tokyo Bad Boys coming out first. Here's, I don't know anything about this team, NGD. Former AAA Tag Team Champs. Their logo looks like it was AI created. They're not getting a massive reaction, are they, this NGD team? They've got New Japan logos on their jacket. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a nightmare to keep tabs of, isn't it? 'Cause there's a lot of people in this match that I don't know. Okay, here we go then. This is the team that we do know. Here's Parka. Oh yeah, we got vibes. We got good vibes. Parka making his way down, and we're getting a really good reaction for Parka. Yeah, yeah. Nice pop for him. Oh, hello. We got some chanting on the go as well. Oh, yeah, we're going to find out, aren't we? Who is going to be the general manager of AAA? I believe we get the answer for that on the 30th. Oh, he said on the 23rd. So what, is that next week? Next week they're going to announce it. I thought they were doing it on the 30th. Here's Mr. Iguana. Oh, that kid's got his own version. I mean, fair play to him for doing something different. He really does stand out. There we go. I have not heard an announcer say it's deafening in here for at least 25 years, says Corey. We've got a Big Baby and Glitter Dragon versus Money Machine versus Dynamite Dudes versus Parka and Mr. Iguana, says Rob M. Well, I'll tell you what we've got. We got a lot of people in the ring. That's what we got. We got a Fatal 4-Way underway. And we got Money Machine starting us off with NGD. So, yeah, we got the bad boys on the outside. And we got Iguana and Parka. Definitely Parka and Mr. Iguana getting the biggest reactions. This will be all action. This is going to be all gas. No brakes. As we've got the Wolfman starting us off. I would love to see Danhausen and Mr. Iguana as a tag team, says Corey. Back elbow there by the Wolfman. Nice. Charging over. Down he goes. NGD in control. Stomp coming in. Going for the cover. Two. They wouldn't have made it, man. They were thinking of coming in and breaking it up, but they wouldn't have made it in time. Tag being made. NGD in control. Big boot. Stomping away. Money Machine struggling. No, those kicks could have looked a touch better. Few boos raining out. I'm guessing NGD are not the most popular. Yeah, Corey is saying to JBL, talk to us about the importance of tag team chemistry. So he's getting his ass kicked, said William. Yeah, the Wolfman's really struggling right now. He's going for a ride, but he's made it to the corner. Tag was made. Big air, big kind of cross body. Nice outside interference. It's all Money Machine, NGD at the moment. Money Machine making that tag. Super kick coming in. Yeah, that was a big super kick. Stomp coming into the side of the head as well. I'm not sure what the crowd are chanting for. Alex said I really like Money Machine. Okay, over against the ropes. Backslap tag. So NGD are out. We've got a Tokyo Bad Boy coming in. Tokyo Bad Boy. On the outside. Springboards. Nice. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Tokyo Bad Boy in the ring. Quick tag to his partner. Chops coming in. So, a Money Machine struggling at the moment as the Tokyo Bad Boys. Showing some lovely teamwork, actually. So, there's only one team we've not seen enter yet, and that is Mr. Iguana and Parka. And this place is going to go banana when they do come in. They got the biggest reaction of all the teams that entered this match. Nice right hands by one of the bad boys. He does look like a bad boy as well, to be honest. He's got long hair and fur on his ring gear. Shots coming in. Have they ever told us what these guys have done to be called bad boys? Do they, like, rent a film from Blockbusters and then never take it back? Over the other side goes Mr. Iguana, who's in, picking up some speed. Head scissor takeover. Mr. Iguana coming in, goes up, whoop, whoop. Oh, look at that, into a crucifix. That was sick. That was sick. He is very impressive, you know, when he's in there. That was sick. A crucifix driver? Here's Parka. Whoa, big air by one of the bad boys. Yeah, take that. Backbreaker. Drop kick. Parka. Oh, yeah, the fans are with him. So, Mr. Iguana was in. Very impressive. Parka's in now. Over against the ropes. Oh, we got a little trip on the outside. That was one of the other bad boys. What a bad boy. What a really bad boy. These guys are so clean, said Shining Wizards. Well, I think hygiene is very important in Mexico, Shining Wizards. Very important. I've heard rumors they have showers before and after matches, so. Chop's coming in. What a DDT, said Flame Fists. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Yes, they should come out to that. Okay, right now we got... kick to the midsection. We've got NGD in control. They've got Parka. Parka might be... Oh, no, he goes down. They were looking for a suplex there to Parka. NGD. Stands for never gonna die. It doesn't, but it could do. Bang, lovely. Stands for New Granny Dentures. That's what it stands for. Tag being made. In comes Money Machine. Against the ropes. Wolfman with Silverman. Wolfman against the ropes. Wolfman. Chucked in the air. Comes down with a drop kick. It was okay. Wolfman to the outside, climbing up. Here we go, perched. No. Oh, I don't know what we were doing. This has just felt a bit off in places. There was a little slip there. There was a little slip. Metal Mama, hello. Big Mix, hello. Oh, Backbreaker. Money Machine are in. Wolfman in the corner. Going up. Crossbody. Oh, Silverman pushed him off. Silverman wanted to get the pin instead of Wolfman. Apparently Psycho Clown and Pagano are watching this as there's a shot coming in there by one of NGD. A bad boy has tagged in. He goes over, straight over to Money Machine. Charges into both members of Money Machine. Suicide dive. Tokyo bad boy. Whoa! Twisting in the air. Here's Parka. Moonsault to the outsides. Well, there's bodies flying everywhere. In the ring is Mr. Iguana. The Iguana is dealing with one of the bad boys. Oh, he's thrown the bad boy. He's thrown the Iguana maybe into the crowd. I mean, the Iguana went flying. Ah. Yeah. Oh, okay, there he is. One of the other Tokyo bad boys has got him. Right now, the Iguana Yaeska is being held hostage. 1, 2, kick out by Mr. Iguana. It's getting crazy, said Flame Fists. It's getting crazy. Tag being made. Here's one of the bad boys. He's got the Iguana. He's throwing in some shots. Throws the Iguana down. Big back body drop. And he's going to get bopped. He got bopped. Putting it on. Here we go. NGD just grabbing the tail. No. Tag being made. One of the members of NGD is in. It's NGD with Tokyo Bad Boys. Big boot coming in. In comes Parka. Clothesline. Down goes NGD. NGD against the ropes. Woo! He almost came like spiking down. Tag being made. In comes Mr. Iguana. Picking up speeds. Against the ropes. Jumps up. Takes him over. Lovely. 1, 2. Hurricanrana. It's like a Frankensteiner. Tag being made. Going straight into the pin. Lovely. Nice work by Mr. Iguana. He might be a goof, but he's very skilled. Iguana to the outside. Takes over one of the members of NGD. Parka with a crossbody. Springboard crossbody. Gets back up on his feet. He's in there with a member of NGD. Parka. He's got him up. Twist him. Oh, look at that. 1, 2. Parka gets it. I thought that it was fun, and I thought there was a few botches that were in there, but it was a perfectly fine opening match. Let's get the scores in. What did you lot think? How did you feel emotionally about what we just saw? I love that finisher. Yeah, that was pretty good. Picking him up, spinning him around, driving him down. Boof. The Bone Breaker. Kind of like the vibe of the music as well. It's kind of a bit chilled, actually. It's not brilliant for doing a run-in when you want some energy. This kind of... Okay, we've got NGD in the... Oh, that's the sound of the War Raiders, is it not? War, 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 war. They're coming straight for NGD. Yes. Bang, big boot there by the big man. Ivar laying out one of the members of NGD. Eric laying out the other. Here's Money Machine. Big back elbow. Oh, we've got some bad boys. We've got some bad boys. One of the bad boys goes absolutely flying. The other one, middle of the ring, rolling through. Bang! Yeah, War Raiders. War Raiders mixing it up with some bad boys. Look at Ivar in the corner. Bang, 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 bang. One of Money Machine is absolutely battered after getting elbowed in the head like 20 odd times in the corner. Wolfman up. Lovely. Oh, gods. And now we're going to deal with the Silver Fox. He's going for a ride. He's going to get planted. I thought he was going to get driven onto Wolfman, but he didn't. Well, there we go. War Raiders. They're murking everyone, said Flame Fists. They are murking everyone. War Raiders putting this tag division on notice. I tell you what, though, it's a great way, is it not, of just showing off your tag division. As a casual viewer, you know, I've got to watch a bit of NGD. I've got to watch Money Machine. I've got to see some Bad Boys. Oh, there we go. Yes. Look, I basically work for creative. War Raiders versus Pagano and Psycho Clown has been added to that May 30th show. Okay, we're backstage. We're outside that lady's room, aren't we? The old lady. Mom. Yeah, oh, no. That's not her. Why are you making so much noise? We're having a meeting. It's that you're not the new general manager. You know that this is my family, my company. I can do so much better than you can. Mum's going to get mad. Wonder who the general manager's going to be. Back in Mexico City next week. This September. Are they going to announce the location? 2-night event. Friday. Yes, weird. Friday? How are we doing that? With SmackDown? The first 2-night Triple Mania. Stay tuned. So no announcement yet on where the first location's going to be. Yeah, we watched this. It's a good match. This is a really good match. So where's this story going? Oh, okay. Did you not hear the people? Did you not hear the reactions? They threw money at us. That's worth more than gold for a luchador. They paid more than the cost of a ticket. TKO are going to want to introduce that, aren't they? Guys, if you really enjoy any of the matches that you see in WWE, please start throwing money in the ring. It's such a sign of respect. It's just the best way you can let the wrestlers know that you really enjoyed their work, so... No one took that championship from me. Give me an opportunity at that title in Mexico City. Phoenix, you were lucky tonight. The luck ends. So is that next week? Going to find out the GM and we're going to get this match again next week in Mexico City. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Wow, that first match that we saw was great. Okay, now we've got this handicap match. This is going to be Galeno versus Chris Carter and Drago. So this is a handicap match. I'm not sure it's going to be... We're in for a treat. The Aztec giant Galeno. I don't know anything about him. I want to learn. Really? And he's known as the Aztec Giant? This young man, 6'3". It's probably the chunkiness of him, you know. Oh, look, they've put, oh, yes. We've put a couple of small, slim. Oh, look at this. Look at that. They're just trying to, they're throwing in drop kicks and they're throwing in shots. Chris Carter and Drago against the ropes. Double clothesline. They both go down. He has got a good girth, hasn't he? Wow, he just threw him, man, hard across the ring. Alex said it 6'3" in Mexico is huge. Guys, we are witnessing Mexico's Andre the Giant right now. Right now, picking up Drago to the outside. Lands on Chris Carter. Both of them go down. It's just one-way traffic right now. Have we got more guys like this he can beat up, says JBL. He's not exactly Big Show. No, it's more like medium show, really. Well, it's the average show. But in Mexico, you know, I mean, compared to the other luchadors we've seen, he is big. Oof. Charging in, bang, big collision. On the back, jumping on the back, he gets driven back in the corner. So that first match you lot said was great 61. You enjoyed it. Guys, we had 69 votes. $69 votes. Here's the big man. Oh! Listen, however big you are, there's always someone bigger. Omos. Are we doing Omos? Against Galeno. Yeah, Omos Galeno. That's a dream match of mine. Big man picks up mid-air, just grabs, plucks in mid-air Drago. Bang. No, he is a little guy. There we go. He gets chucked on him. He's pinning both. Stack them. Pin them. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen, says JBL. I don't know how impressed Omos was. Galeno standing in the ring as the Nigerian Giant stares at him from the entranceway. I could see Galeno picking up Omos. Delayed vertical suplex. When you're capable of this kind of power. Now there's a real giant, said Spawny. Alex said, Jesus, that was brutal. Epstein said, hashtag we love Casey. Hello, Casey. Casey's got her own fan base. Casey, go for it. Maybe you can have Triple T in some time. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. What's going on? Okay, big man is Celebrating with the crowd. Let's get the poll in for that. It's very short. I don't even think we should bother, but... Oh, there's La Catalina. There's Lola. Pop. Pop. And then Bailey comes running down. Well, there we go. I wonder if that's gonna... Where's that gonna lead us to? Is Bailey gonna get added to that show on the 30th? I want to say thank you. Finally, there's 3 of us. Oh, yeah, they are adding that. Bailey's on the card now. See you soon, you nasties. Right, so we're not going to be doing Flammer versus La Catalina. We're going to be doing Los Toxicus. Taking on Lola, Bailey, and La Catalina. It's a great way of getting Bailey on the card, isn't it? It does make sense. Does make sense. I like it. Robbie said boom, called it. Very good. Let's go. We're up to 4 matches now. Mask versus Mask. Main event him. This card's getting better and better, said Epstein Pilot Tommy. Epstein Pilot Tommy, shout out to you. I wonder if he was Epstein's pilot. Casey said, no, Daze, get your mind out the guy. I've not done anything. I only ask a question. Daze only sees comments about me when they get perverted. I don't know what you're on about. I'm not trying to get you with Tommy anyway, because I like Jeebus. I got all the time in the world for Jeebus. I'm trying to get one of your sisters with Tommy, yeah? Why do you refuse to give up one of your sisters? For the good of the community. Oh, look, we're going back to Dorian. Days La Parka's ring gear reminds me of when Johnny Lawrence and the Cobra Kai and Karate Kid wore those skeleton costumes for Halloween. What are you doing here? General manager. I'm going to be the general manager. I'm going to be the general manager. Neither of these going to be general manager. Good luck. Okay, here's American Maids. The sassy Southern Belle, Bailey Evans, you nasties. She did used to call people that, didn't she? What do you think will happen with Randy? Are they calling him off him with the Pat nonsense? No, I don't think they're calling off Randy. I mean, Randy's a legend. Robbie said, I thought Tommy was into Latinas. Yeah, I think Casey's sister's a Latina. So, trying to work that out. Yeah, no, I don't know if Randy's just, you know, taking a little break after WrestleMania. I think he was meant to be at Backlash. But obviously that tag match fell through. And now we've got Cody going into a thing with Gunther. It could be that Randy interferes in that match. Gunther wins thanks to Randy. And then that means we do Cody Randy. And Gunther goes off as champion. American Maids have made their way down. Jesus Christ. The Web has now taken over AAA streams, said Casey. There's no stopping the Web. Its influence is felt globally. Okay, Creed Brothers against Aerostar. They've got some time for this, haven't they? I don't know if we're going to go the full hour, but we've only got 3 matches that have been announced for tonight, and we've done 2. I'm sure we're going to be seeing El Grande. The Web is powerful, says Card. That is true. Epstein pilot Tommy said the Web is legendary. Here's Fiscal. Fiscal. Okay, Fiscal making his way down to the ring. Okay, Fiscal has made his way down to the ring. Ray said he's a big fan of his work. Okay, this could be interesting. We got the Creeds, and we don't get to see too much of the Creeds, but they're in there. Lovely suplex. Look at this. Shots coming into the side of the head. Pushes him down. Got a bit of a pace already out of the gates here. Daze, are you doing Ronda? No, bud. We're doing this. We're here with this. Right now, we've got the Creeds in control. Over against the ropes. Big boots. I think there's only the main event, is there not? That's is there, or is there another fight coming up? I don't know. Big boot coming in. I think, did Ngannou just win, did he? Over in the corner. Bang, Aerostar collides him. The Web is famous and legendary podcast by Tommy and Daisy Cakes. Daisy Cakes, you just don't know. Right now, we've got Aerostar and Fiscal finding a way back in. Aerostar gets slammed down on Brutus. Kick coming in there by Aerostar. Brutus in the middle of the ring. Over he goes. In comes Julius. Look at the size difference, man, between these. Oh, Aerostar. Yeah. Tried to go against the rope, stumbled, and we're in Botch City. Oh, if at first you don't succeed, go for it again. He went for it again. He got it that second time. But, listen, we have to accept. Not going to land everything every time. Oh, went over the top, gets caught by the Creeds. Bang! Into the edge of the ring. Wow. Creeds in control. CM Punk is at the MVP fight, said Alex. Right now, we got Brutus colliding into Fiscal. Aerostar is down. He was just being checked on. Might be a bit of concern for him. Spawny Boy said, if we can do SmackDown as bad as it is, we could do this for 3 hours. Oh, easy. We could do this in our sleep for 3. It'd be a pleasure to have more of this. But I do enjoy these shows, and I've enjoyed tonight as well. The opening match was pretty fun. Second match was just more about showing off their giant. And now we're rounding it off with the Creeds. It's an easy watch. So you could make it longer, but don't know, it works, doesn't it? It's good. I'd be worried about making it longer and then it outstaying its welcome a touch. Clothesline there by Julius. Hello, Jennifer. Creeds with no masks. Don't know what you mean, but don't know what you mean. Creeds don't wear masks. There's a new team called Julio and Bruto. I don't know where they are. This is Julius and Brutus. Right now we got a submission being applied. Jojo said they fit enough into an hour to make it great. Aerostar being kept grounded at the moment. Triple H, take notes, says Jojo. Julius going for a pin and Aerostar kicking out. Reset Days, I just got into the web. It's a must-listen pod. When do you record it? We do it live on a Thursday. I'd love to join for when you do it. Hit up Tommy. Tommy's the one that controls it. I just literally click join and he's the one that brings people on. Is it on YouTube? Yes, it's on the web channel. I want to join the chat for recording. So it's 7:45 Eastern time. 7:45 Eastern time, or it is 1:45 in the morning UK time. And it airs live. So, and it's got its own channel here. And really, I wouldn't think of it as a podcast that you watch to enjoy. It's more a test to see if you can make it through. And that's the best way to look at it. Tag being made. Oof. Down goes Julius. Big clothesline. I'd watch AAA for 2 hours instead of an hour, said Flex. Well, I'd be happy to stick around to watch another hour if there was another one, of course. Fiscal. Couple of back elbows. Going up. Big crossbody. Down go the Creeds. Fiscal is taking off his clothes. Big cheer. Yes. Trying to pick up Julius. Brutus comes in. Daze Dana answered a Connor comeback. John Jones is at the Ngannou fight. What did he say about Connor coming back? Has he got any updates? Fiscal with a crossbody to the outside. Down go the Creeds. Casey said it's 100% facts. And if you can make it through without being offended at any point as well, that extra bonus points for that. Pretty sure I offend everyone at least once at some point during the podcast. That's my goal. Lovely hang time there by Fiscal. Mr. Epstein, your thumbnail on Thursday was amazing. We still don't really know the secret, though, said Flame Fist. It's on the 11th of July against Holloway. What? There is a fight that's happening. Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, July 11th. Really? Wow. That's a massive update. What's on at the same night as that? Saturday night's main event or something? Your International Fight Week main event is confirmed. Poor Chandler. He did everything to get that, didn't he? Oh, they just made Aerostar tap out. McGregor, Holloway. UFC 329. That's not far away at all, is it? It's got to be Holloway. Oh, yeah, that's big. Okay, right now we've got Aerostar tapping. Here comes, is that Ryo and Bravo? Ryo and Bravo have made their way down. Bang, bang, bang. Shots coming in. Ryo, Bravo. Okay, here comes the OG. So OG Americano going after Ryo and Bravo. That's going to bring out El Grande. But he can't touch him, can he? Can't touch him. Right now, Bravo is getting punched in the face. Kick to the midsection. Stomping away. Where's El Grande, though? Why doesn't he care? Where's El Grande? Yeah, right now we got the Creeds. We've got... oh, he's like, should I unmask him? They're talking of unmasking him? He's talking about unmasking. Bravo, they're undoing the mask. They're undoing the mask. Bravo might be getting unmasked. Are they going to do it? He's holding on. He's trying to... Oh, it's slipping off. Okay, we've actually got El Grant. Yeah, he can't touch him. He can't touch him. Oh, he can't touch him. I don't know that I don't know that is Bravo. Is that Tyler that's under there? Clothesline. We never found out. We still don't know the identities. Yeah, right now we've got, he came down. There's nothing stopping El Grande getting his hands on the Creeds. This is never going to end, said Al. It ends on the 30th. It ends on the 30th. Listen to me very carefully. Your friends aren't here. You're in my house. This is my house. Shorty. It won't only be for a mask. It's going to be for the Mexican prides. He's laying it on thick, isn't he? He's doing it for everyone. For our culture. Listen to me. He's fired up. There's only one Grande. Well, there we go. A very fiery promo. Rayo, Bravo, El Grande. We got the OG El Grande on the outsides. Yeah, it was a really passionate promo. I really like that. Olé! And there we go. That was AAA this week. The European playing an American pretending to be a Mexican is really laying it in, said Jennifer. Do you know, I think it's what wrestling was missing, was a European playing a Mexican, an American pretending to be a Mexican. Like, I didn't realise that's what we needed, but he's really done a great job. Pretty good episode, said Jojo. Better than SmackDown. Corey said, May 30th, it cannot come soon enough. Let's get the... Did we do a poll for that main event match? We scored the other ones, didn't we? Yeah, Carl said you should do one for the last match. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, that was good. That was fun. We were obviously just momentarily distracted by the announcement of Connor coming back. Just as that match ended. But we got to enjoy the fallout afterwards with all the Americano stuff. And good. Way better than SmackDown, said Wrestling Russ. Are the fights available for you all overseas Ronda Diaz matches? If you have time, check them out. Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's all on Netflix. Neither are Mexican. One is American. The other is German, says David. Was it David's? This is way better than SmackDown, said Epstein's pilot. Noche de Grandes and Clash in Paris. Back. What a weekend that's going to be, Robbie. Yeah, really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. Okay, get your thoughts in for tonight's episodes. Hope people enjoyed it. Shame that it kind of clocks out a touch early. 3 matches. I mean, I don't feel like anything's rushed, though, which is really good. I suppose that middle match didn't get much time, but it didn't need it. So, you know, that probably normally could have been longer. And as a result, we've kind of clocked in at about 50-odd minutes. But, yeah, I don't really feel like anything was too rushed. We had some backstage segments. We made some announcements. We had full entrances. We did matches and everything. Is there ever a commercial break? I don't know if I'm ever getting any commercials interrupting the show. I think that helps massively, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, the matches don't die as we go to commercial or anything. Yeah, with WWE, their matches like really slow down as like you go to commercial in America, and then when we come back, they kind of pick up again. It's quite a few times I'm like, oh, what's going on? This seems to have really kind of lost its way, and then like I'll see that there's the countdown in the corner. You're like, right. What is tomorrow's stream? Said Isaac. No stream tomorrow. We haven't got one on a Sunday. We are gonna sleep and rest up, save our energy for Monday when we're back with Raw, and then we got plenty of streams coming up. So yeah, I mean, I would do like a bit of a predictions video tomorrow, but there's only I think there's only 3 matches now for Saturday night's main event next weekend, which is a shame. This show was like a 9.5, says Carr. Rob M said the commercial placement in AAA doesn't affect the flow of the show. There was no adverts, it's just constant action, said Edwards. Don't give him ideas, said Eric. Yeah, you're right. I should shut the F up. That's what I should do. I agree. Because if they can shove an advert in, you know they're going to do it. Flamefist said tomorrow is Daze's rest day. Raw, yeah. I'm like Jesus, but cuter. Bishop said there might be some commercials in Mexico. Maybe. I'm not sure where they would put them. And maybe they go picture in picture. Maybe they do something like that. I mean, I don't think, unless they, like, I don't think the entrances are long enough to go to commercial break. I don't think you want to miss any of the backstage stuff. You could go during the match, but the matches never slow down. Obviously, because we have the English commentary, like, we don't have any comments like, can such and such get the win here? You know, stick with us for, like, after the commercial. Like, there's never any mention of anything either. There's never any indication of a commercial. I just don't know where you would put them. Maybe they do. Perhaps there's a bit of picture-in-picture action. I'm not sure. Great show. 9, said Beast Modes. Casey said the other word is pilot. Casey, is either of your sisters available for Tommy? Because I really am trying to find him a new partner. And I think the great thing is if he gets with one of your sisters, because you work at Dunkin' Donuts, that might mean that he's going to be sorted for Dunkin' Donuts. Because I'm sure that you'd get some for your sisters, and so he would benefit. So there are some real benefits with getting with one of your sisters that I think would be very useful for Tommy. And what with one of your sisters being Latina as well, it's ticking a lot of boxes, to be honest. I don't know why you're standing in the way of love. I don't know why you're standing in the way of your sister's happiness. I do find you to be a very bad relative. I would love for Tommy to be happier than what he is right now. And I'd love for your sisters to be happier than they are right now. And if I can encourage that, then I'm here for that. Epstein Pilot said, Daze, what's the schedule for this week? Sleeping, streaming, laughing, and probably drinking. No, we do Raw, we do NXT, we do Evolve, we do SmackDown, we do Saturday night's main event, we do member streams, we do a member stream on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's lots coming up. Stuff happening all the time. I think if Tommy's current hostage gets free, then you don't find him a new one. What, the relationship is in that, but we don't like her, do we? Collectively. I mean, I've never asked you guys, but I'd imagine we're all on the same page. I mean, it's clear to see that she's changed him, and we don't like what he's become. So, yeah, we don't like the current setup. So, if there's any way that we can change things, we're looking at the options. Snarls Attack said it's an 8 for the show. They had everything but cake. Good point. Wrestling said Daze Jones was at the Ngannou fight talking about trying to get his UFC contract. Dana announced the Conor fight at the same time. What, Jones is trying to get out of the contract? What's the members stream, said Isaac. That's where you guys get to have your say. Any thoughts? They don't have to be questions, by the way. I do get people jumping in and just asking loads of questions. That's fine. I'm happy to do that. But if there's any thoughts, comments, theories, concerns, just things people want to get off the chest, or questions, it's just your opportunity. Normally on a stream, like say a Raw stream or a SmackDown stream, I don't always get a chance to get to everyone's comments. So I love the Monday members stream because basically I'm like, leave a question here and I will get to all of these questions. And so that's why I'm sometimes a bit late for Raw, because I'm like working my way down all these thoughts and whatever. So we always do that on a Monday. Isaac said, what time is that? 10:30 UK time. It's always the half an hour before Raw. So that is 5:30 Eastern, 10:30 UK. See you there. Stuart said, if you're Jesus, I'm Jeebus. I said I'm like Jesus. I'd never say I am Jesus. That is sexist. So I would never say that. I just said I'm like Jesus, but just a bit cuter. To be honest, all the pictures I've seen of Jesus, it's probably a 6. Flame Fist said, Daze, it was an awesome stream. And AAA was amazing as usual. Epstein Pilot said, Daze, don't forget to watch tomorrow the Meat Lovers podcast with me and my co-host, Casey. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. The Meat Lovers podcast. Love that, Epstein Pilot, Tommy. Thank you. Right, let's go and end the poll. Wrestling Russ, good night, buds. Okay, so you said that main event match was great. So great 75. Great 75. So I think all the matches pretty much got great ratings tonight. Carr said, Dave and William are on next Sunday. Let's go. Big fan of their show. If ever I'm around and I see that it's on, it gets recommended. I always tend to like jump in and check out the conversation. So, yeah. What is it? 2 screw-ups? 2 perverts, 1 pods? 2 pervs, 1 pods? Like 2 girls, 1 cup? I think it's that, isn't it? Is it 2 guys, 1 cup? 2 guys, 1 cup, isn't it? 2 guys, 1 cup. I'm a big fan of it. 2 guys, 1 cup. I keep clicking on, not knowing what I'm going to see. And to be honest, I'm always a little disappointed that it's not what my brain thought it was going to be. Normally, it's just talking. But, I'll click on it one week and it'll be the podcast that I'm expecting, Daze, what do we think about AAA? Great. I thought this was a little bit skippable this week, only in the sense of I don't think there was a great deal here that you needed to see. I think it's good and fun to watch. I think, the tag match was quite fun, and it's a great way of being introduced to all the tag teams. The squash match was a way of being introduced to their giant, But, it was obviously not the most competitive match in the world. Main event as well was just a bit of a squash. So match-wise, it was just, hey, check this person out, check this person out. And then, of course, the cherry on top was a bit of a promo exchange, bit of a promo between the El Grandes. But we already know how great that is and we're locked in. Little bit of a subplot with who's going to be the GM. A few announcements getting made. So that was fine. Honestly, fun. You're never going to go wrong with tuning into AAA. But we've seen more essential shows than this, where we've seen like big title matches and, like more dramatic action. So it was fine. It was one of those weeks where it was just a fun, solid watch. And that's fine. But I'm proper excited for the 30th. And I think we might find out who the GM is next week. So that's going to be very interesting as well. I would recommend watching the podcast. They talk about everything for like 4 hours, said Shakeem. That's a big commitment. That is a big commitment. Daze, you should watch 2 Girls, 1 Horse. Right. I'm not sure that appeals, to be honest. I can't say the title is something I'm like, oh yeah, I'm there, I might just stick with 2 Guys, 1 Cup. William said, I really feel like Casey is a Dunkin' serial killer. I bet she lures perverts to her store and then murders them. That's why Casey's store rates so highly. Because she's serving the community. Love it. Yes. Right, I think we're done, my friends. I think if we get to the point where we're accusing Casey of murdering perverts, it's probably right to call it quits. What a journey we've been on. Really a wonderful insight into where this community is right now. So, yeah, good. I hope you had fun. I hope we had some laughs and put some smiles on some faces. Obviously, there's a a lot of wrestling shows coming up soon, so very excited for those. It was good to just check in with AAA. We'll be back again on Monday, of course, with our Raw stream. So whatever you're doing, have a fantastic weekend. And yeah, as always, appreciate the support. Appreciate everyone joining us. King Yeti, thank you again. Firing in those gifted memberships. And yeah, awesome. Thank